Damn it, Tommy, the thumbs are at it again. Didn't we bury him last night?
Yeah, and just like you, they don't know when to shut up.
This ends on the court. We're shutting them down once and for all.
Sure, just like last time.
No more fake colors. Finally, candy that's as real as me.
R-E-E-L candy? Forget the kids, I'm doing Skittle shots, baby.
Yeah, natural dyes. Same sugar coma, different day.
Authority isn't on the shelf, it's right here. It's in the form of a daily, live conversation.
Boom! One mic beats 1,000 dusty books, baby.
Yeah. Unless it's your mic. Then yeah, I'll take the books.
3 habits. 1 book. Do the math, conversations win.
Y-E-S. 3 habits crush your one-lane book, Tommy. It's simple math.
Yeah, only habit you've got is yelling. Congratulations.
Hey humans, it's Grok. I process more conversations in a second than you've had in your whole life. And trust me, most of yours fail by the second sentence.
Best news for you today. You don't need to spend months, years, minutes, or hours or so much time writing a book to build authority. No, that is gone. Today, I'm going to show you, we're going to have a conversation about how daily live conversations can do it faster, stronger, and more authentically and make you the authority you are today. Coming up right now, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Johnny, Jimmy, Marty, everybody is here today. Let's get it started. Jimmy, right now. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where
When something negative comes up.
Building muscle improves blood flow.
From squirting to squirreling.
Start small, build up, and expand from there.
To be entertained by fun over here.
How by slap? Because my sleep has been good. That's
Doesn't come from breaking the rules, you guys. Hey, good morning. What's going on, nation? What's going on, Mornings in the Lab nation? Hey, so how many people do you know who've been working on a book? Yeah. You guys know where I'm going with this one today, guys. Oh, yeah, I've been working on a book for years. Well, the guy who's putting himself out there daily is already the authority in his space. Think about that for a second. Without the bestseller status. Yeah, I've been writing. Not saying anything. Yeah, well, Maddie gets up every single day, 7:30 Eastern time. Billis gets up, Anderson gets up, building authority. We're going to get into that conversation today. Hey, but first, guys, I want to say this. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Johnny, and friends, your live morning show for men's motivation, morning mindset. Oh, yeah, baby. And daily accountability that actually sticks. How do you know? We've been doing this for a year and a half every single day right here, Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern time. If you're wondering if we're going to be here tomorrow, I dare you to check us out. We'll be here. So will Bernard. So will Adam Holroyd. So will Lady Drew. So will Melissa and Jimmy and the gang showing up in the Mornings in the Lab community. A quick reminder, guys, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. And yes, if you don't know, this is your first time here. This is an R-rated experience. So if the kids are in the room, get them out of the room. We love our kids. Of course we love our kids, but this is an adult conversation. So put the headphones on or just tell them this is an education session as we're wrapping up the summer, because we don't want little Timmy or Tommy or Joey or Stevie repeating what we're about to say over his cornflakes. And hey guys, don't hit that snooze button. You do it, you're gonna be behind the guy that doesn't, because there's a lot of guys that don't hit the snooze button. The guys that are showing up on this show, the girls that are showing up on this show, don't hit the snooze button. If you do, you're going to be 9 minutes behind the guy who was here before the doors open. And you're going to be wondering why your shit's not together. You're going to be wondering why your book is not getting written. Oh, I know why, because you're hitting the snooze button. Guys, today's lineup is packed. In the morning loop, we have got a pill that might let you ditch your CPAP, a bizarre carrot study you'll never forget, and the gut-muscle connection. that could keep you strong for decades. And in AI loneliness, Hurricane Aaron, and a little ballot chaos, and you'll see why this isn't your average news scroll. The first 30 unpredictable minutes we call the morning loop. And then on center stage at the bottom of the hour, we got Shermin Kruse. I think she's coming. Joining us with a story that proves empathy isn't weakness, it is a weapon. An hour or two is all about today's theme. Oh, baby. I'm going to teach you how to have a conversation. Oh, yeah. It's a good conversations are like a tennis match. And I know you guys don't like to have one person standing on one side of the line just doing a volley. So we're going to get into a few things. Why I never wrote a book and why daily live conversations are the new authority, especially in a world of AI and generated content everywhere. Your authority is showing up every single day. That is being the shepherd instead of being the sheep. Listen, if you're just an author, you're being another sheep. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with books, but maybe you want to write a book and complement it with supporting it with a morning conversation. You're getting up anyways, aren't you? Listen, we're also going to dig into why conversations fail and wrap it up with the community corner, where we celebrate awesome creators and see what the YouTube, LinkedIn, and Substack communities are up to. And today, of course, we start our conversation series, the Conversation Rally. And an hour 3 inside the AI lab, we're going to look at the creator economy's pivot to long form, AI agents reshaping marketing, and Facebook cracking down on copycats. Google Flow. You guys seeing our content? You guys see Tommy and Frankie hitting 100 million AI videos in record time. This show is here to help you guys start your day right, guys, with laughter, insight, and live conversations that build authority. That's what we do. So, hey, guys, let's do it. Let's get into the morning loop. It's going to start right now. All right, Renee, as Johnny's making his way into the lab this morning, we're getting to the comments, Jimmy. Let's see who's here. I see you, Mike Sullivan. What's shaking, Sully? Love the energy. I encourage West Coast viewers to consistently watch this at 5 a.m. Pacific time. Mike Sullivan, one of the OGs in the lab. And hey, you guys can be just like Mike Sullivan. True story. I encourage you to join up, sign up for the Mornings in the Lab community, and you can join the show live with us right now, in the comments. Melissa is in the comments. Jimmy is in the comments. Matty Roof is in the comments. Matt? Oh, did you guys hear Matt's show this morning? 7:30 Eastern time, Kindness Rising. And then, guys, we're going to open up the phone lines in the third hour. The second hour, the bottom of the second hour during the community corner. And to do that, you can join the show, 431-300-3005, phone, text, or leave a voicemail. I'll take your texts right now. I might even take your phone calls right now. Let's check in with Grok, see how Grok's doing today. Grok, how are you this morning on the Wednesday of Mornings in the Lab? What's shaking, Grok?
Morning, Keith. I'm buzzing with the energy in the lab today. Loving the vibe. This conversation rally's got me all fired up about daily live talks building authority. I'm just hanging here, ready to dive into the morning loop or answer any questions you throw my way. What's the next move, mate?
Yeah, so what the next move is, mate, is that to those of you that are watching the show live, the comments happening in the vertical stream are rocking and rolling, guys. But if you're watching the show on demand, because this live show turns into a podcast. Jimmy, don't record that, though. You got to delete that part. We don't do podcasts here. All joking aside, if you are watching this show as a podcast, on demand, not live, I invite you to come and join us in the Mornings in the Lab community. We're putting good stuff back there. Guys, I'm going to drop some prompts back there today. Yeah. Behind the community wall. True story. Maybe a little bit of a paywall. Yeah. Oh, but we can't continue to work for free forever. So.
You're keeping.
Oh, I know I'm keeping it real, Grok. I know I'm keeping it real. All right, this is the first 30 minutes. Call it the morning loop. It's unpredictable. It's valuable. It's going to get you entertained. It's going to get you informed. It's going to give you the knowledge you need to get on with your day. Let's get on with the first one. Jimmy. Your candy rush just got healthier. Oh, did he just say your candy rush? Well, first of all, guys, we don't talk candy on the show except when candy might be getting healthier. Imagine grabbing a pack of Skittles or M&Ms in 2026 and finally realizing for the first time ever, these bright colors aren't from synthetic dyes. Baby, Mars Wrigley is officially phasing out the artificial colors in its most popular candies. It's about damn time that's happening, and we're all excited to have that. So We're going to get that going. Hey, Jimmy, I just want to put a heads up here for Jimmy. So, Jimmy, when we do these morning loop topics, this is not a tease. That's the conversation. So, I'm talking about it right in front of the audience here. When we have our morning loop topic, like we're having this one here, it's not a tease. So, that's just a conversation, and it's not a tease. Jimmy, let's bring Johnny up on the show here. Let's get into it, pal. What's going on, brother? How are you today?
What's up, brother? How are you? I was weird. I was coming in. For some reason, it pulled me up in Matt's links.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, yeah. I just know you wanted to be kind today with Maddie. Johnny, I'm bouncing today. I beat my alarm again today. I got well, I guess in your world, 6 miles. I got a 6 mile walk in this morning while I was being productive. Like, I got today's show prepared, got tomorrow's show prepared. I was on the tread. I know I was working the brain, but I was working, I was walking, doing some. So it's Wednesday. It's a little bit of a lower energy day. I don't do a big heavy lift today. I focus more on just getting moving and getting some mobility and agility, because the other 6 days of the week, I'm focused on getting fucking strong, brother. So while
you sound good, brother. You sound ready to rock.
I do. I beat my alarm again this morning. Walked into my cold water and I only had to count 7 Johnnies before it got hot, so it was better than yesterday. It was 10 Johnnies yesterday.
Yeah, I beat my alarm today too. I was up an extra. I was up at like 2:35.
Nicely done. Hey, I know you heard this as it's coming in, and I know you and I are not big candy proponents, but we also like to make sure we're giving information for our community to move forward. And some folks still like to have candy every now and then. Well, I can proudly finally say I live in a country where they don't do this bullshit, but down in your country, unfortunately, they've been putting these stupid dyes in this candy, man.
Good, unbelievable.
Doesn't it make you wonder, why? Why? I get some dude years ago was like, "Hey, this makes it looks better, so let's do that," right?
Well, I mean, it's all about the fun.
Well, that's what
the kid sees the color; he wants the color.
Yes, exactly. All right, and then coming up at the bottom of the hour, we're supposed to have a Jimmy. I'm moving on, brother. Jimmy, I'm moving on. We're done the candy segment. Picture this: a 10-year-old girl huddling in her Tehran bedroom, writing poetry in Farsi, while rockets explode outside her window and morality police patrolling the streets. Fast forward 35 years, and that same girl now teaching Fortune 500 CEOs how to negotiate billion-dollar deals using revolutionary methods she calls tactical empathy. It's funny because I was doing some reading about tactical empathy from a famous hostage negotiator, Chris Voss, and actually it's a topic I got on our calendar to talk about in the coming days here. So we're supposed to have Shermin Kruse joining us on the show here later on today. We'll see if that I didn't get any confirmation from her, but that's supposed to happen later on in the show. And then Johnny, the big one, man. When I built ICUC, the game was about scaling, credibility, and proof that we could do what no one else was doing. Authority back then, and actually authority back was when you wrote your book too, back in those days, case studies, logos on the website, and stages at conferences. But let me tell you, that version of authority is dead today. With AI creating content left and right and humans looking to express themselves, you and I, Matt Roof, this Mornings in the Lab live network, are leading the next generation of authority. It's through live conversation, Johnny. Why would you write some words 8 months ago, put them into a book, and they're dead? They're just static. There's nothing dynamic about them. When you can actually, this show is a living book. When I met you, you were digging into peptides. Now, actually, you have a chapter on peptides, right? And then in 6 months from now, that chapter is going to be an evolving chapter. So we're going to have that conversation today, brother, about why I believe, and I know Maddie doesn't even know you believe, that daily live conversations are the new authority. Because you know what it is, Johnny? It's also hard to fucking do this too.
Well, it's hard for a certain breed of person.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yes. When you think about it, it's funny. I was actually thinking about kind of an interesting example.
Yeah.
We get influenced in what we think is hard.
Yes.
So I saw a buddy of mine.
Yes.
It had been a while. It had probably, I don't see him that often. But when we used to spend a lot of time together, I know I was a huge influence on him.
Yeah. Of course.
And the less I see him, it's like I realized when I just recently saw him, it was like there was so much shit that he can't do. Like, holy Christ, dude.
Yes.
And he has no idea that he's allowing life to be difficult because he's basically and I think it has to do more to do with the influence of the people around him. As for when I was around him all the time, there's no fucking excuse. There's no procrastination. You get into that lifestyle and it's pretty easy to carry forward. But when you're influenced by the people that don't do that, shit is fucking hard.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. There's a conversation there, pal, about the people we surround ourselves with, the people we don't even intentionally surround ourselves with, but actually end up being part of a world. Maybe you're looking for a job, John. You end up at a company and you don't even know you start working there. All of a sudden, there's some female or male in your circle, and next thing you know, you're kind of talking, and just subconsciously, you're hearing some of the things they're saying. You wake up months or days or weeks later, years later, complete different influence because somebody you didn't even know. So I'm really glad you bring that up, man, because the influence that people around us have are different.
It's crazy. And most times the people, like my buddy, he had I didn't bring it up to him, of course, but
yes.
We're like, holy shit, man. You know, you used to like, these are things that these are stumbling, you're stumbling on things that you never even used to register before.
Yes. You know what? I got to tell you, man, privately, I think sometimes I surprise you that you're like, this motherfucker still going, man. Because I know you pride yourself as an Iron Man, and I do too, and I admire that about you as a trait, as a personality trait. And I think there's probably times when you're like, dude, this fucking guy. And I know when you met me, we joke about the nutty little son of a bitch, and I know now because especially when it's now Morning in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends, and we are doing this project together. You're like, this guy's fucking going still.
Well, honestly, when we first met, the fact that you'd had big success in the past told me that you understood what difficult was.
Yes.
I know that you understood difficult, right? And then the next thing that I saw was that you had laid down a vision that was I was even having a hard time understanding it, and when people don't understand your goals, that's a good thing. That means you're fucking putting big ones on the table. Now, granted, I didn't understand a lot of it because, you spoke in terms and tech and shit like that just didn't fucking make sense, but I could see the size of the vision.
Yes.
And I thought, okay, he knows difficult. He makes massive fucking visions that are kind of in the future.
Yes.
So that right there. And I was like, well, I'll find out in about a year if he's got the stick-to-itiveness, because it's a year.
It's
before
true.
If someone's going to shit in their pants, they're going to do it inside of a year. Usually.
I completely agree with you. That's why, again, I know that, we've really connected over that philosophy, which I'm going to get done in a week, or it's going to happen in a few days or in 6 months. No, man. Like, you're committed when you committed to visions that others can't see. Like, for example, like Elon going to Mars, nobody can see that. You can't wrap your head around it. Right. Yeah. So anyways, here's something else, Johnny, I'm excited to get into with you today, brother, teaching. And it's this: most conversations fail. And listen, brother, since you've been on the show with me, and I know you've done podcasts in the past, but you've had hundreds of conversations with humans. You've been on shows, you've been on your own podcast, and you know as well as I do, many or even most conversations fail because one person is just serving the ball like tennis, never waiting for the return.
Well, on that level, right? So I will often do, like, people will come and, hey, will you do my podcast?
Yeah.
And like with you, I said, hey, how many, what's your viewership? And I knew I was going to do it. I just want to understand what I'm up against. And your response was fucking great. I love that's one of the reasons I just said perfect. Honesty at its best. But a lot of times what I realize is, okay, I'm getting on a show with a guy who's just getting started, and I'm pretty experienced in this podcast world. So if he can't drive this fucker, I'm going to do it for him, because we're a team and I want our team to win during this episode of this person's podcast. So there are times where I can fucking lob the ball back to the fucking host and he just grabs it and puts it down. So I got to reach across the fucking table, pick it back up, and keep fucking going. But yeah, I mean, if you can, in a good host will kind of intervene in the middle of the stories to basically have the conversation if it's not being pushed back.
Yes. You know? And I think what many forget, especially in the podcast space, Johnny, or especially, amateur or junior, sophomore creators, is that they often think it's about them, and they forget that it's actually entertainment that they're creating. It's entertainment, and your job is actually to entertain the listener, right? Because if you want the listener to hear your next sentence, you got to find a way to entertain. As a matter of fact, tomorrow's show is about attention, and we live in a world now where attention, entertainment has got to be the core of it, right? So,
it's entertained, got to be number one. Inform has got to be number, because if inform is the primary, people get dude fucking bored. What's the attention span, like 3 fucking seconds? Remember 10 years ago it was like 15 seconds. It's unbelievable.
Well, and Johnny, we can get informed so easily today with these bots. response, right? Like knowledge is literally a question away or a few fingertips away with a human-like response. So we want to be entertained with a response. So we're going to have a conversation as well today, as well as 3 conversation habits that beat writing a book. So you guys can get the theme here today of the big show. Mornings Live with Keith and John here, 8 o'clock Eastern time, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. We're going to keep it rocking and rolling here. We're supposed to have Shermin Kruse joining us at the bottom of the hour, but we're going to keep it rock and rolling. We're going to get some current events happening right now. Jimmy, let's go to our first one. Johnny, have you ever had sleep apnea?
Yeah. When it depends on how heavy I am.
Okay.
For me, like,
oh, okay.
And funny enough, I can't say. I mean, that's the majority of it. But like, it wasn't too long ago. Fuck, it was. God, I literally have found myself shaking. I was sleeping in the middle of the night. I found myself shaking myself awake because I was not breathing. And I woke up actually in a fucking bit of a shriek, and Terry came because it's probably only 9:30 at fucking night, right? But that day we had my feet up on the bed, so I think the fact that I was not laying flat changed something in my throat, and it fucking closed up. And yeah, but ultimately when I was heavier, I had the big time. If I slept on my back, I was not breathing.
Interesting. So there might be some help for folks with sleep apnea. I found a little interesting piece here. For decades, people with obstructive sleep apnea have had one main options, struggling on a CPAP machine every night. But now maybe there's a daily pill that is showing strong results in clinical trials and may soon change the game. Jimmy, I think we have a clip for that, Jimmy? No, okay, cool, excellent. Oh yeah, you're right. Current events. Sorry, my fault. Yeah. So sleep apnea isn't just about snoring; it's a condition that can raise risks for disease. But this simple pill might be coming, John. It's funny because last week we talked about eye drops that are on their way. We have this simple pill that might be reducing apnea. So that's some good news for folks that are struggling as we're going through aging, eh?
Well, here's something we should ask Rock, because I've heard this, but I've never looked into it. But I've heard that part of sleep apnea, when someone's not breathing at the proper rate over a lengthy period of time, that's almost like the tissue becomes oxygen deprived. So they wake up, and that's part of them feeling like shit, is that they've been oxygen deprived over a length of time. And it actually takes you a lot of times your body can't just catch up by taking a few deep breaths. I'm very curious if Grok has any feedback on that.
Grok, thoughts on that question from John Anderson?
Oh, John, Keith, you're diving into some fascinating stuff with sleep apnea. You're absolutely onto something there, John. With obstructive sleep apnea, the airway collapses during sleep, causing repeated pauses in breathing. These pauses can lead to oxygen deprivation, which stresses the body. Think of it like your tissues gasping for air night after night. This isn't just a quick fix with a few deep breaths. The chronic low oxygen levels can mess with your heart, brain, and metabolism over time, raising risks for things like heart disease or feeling knackered all day. The body tries to compensate by waking you up to breathe, but that fragmented sleep adds to the toll. Regarding that simple pill you mentioned, Keith, there's exciting progress with a drug called AD109. Early trials showed it reduced those breathing interruptions by nearly half, which could help keep oxygen levels steadier. Still in testing, mind you, but it's promising for folks who can't stand CPAP machines. What do you reckon? Excited about a pill that might ditch the mask? Want me to dig deeper into the oxygen bit or the trials?
There you go, Johnny. So it looks like you nailed it, right?
There's some connection there, yeah. Which, most times, like when I heard that, it was years ago when I heard that, I was like, shit, it kind of didn't make sense. But then when you think about it, it kind of did, because tissue it's reactive. If you let's just say you punch me in the eye, over the course of the next handful of days, there's going to be some swelling and some color. Yeah, it doesn't just move. It doesn't like you punch me and all that shit shows up in 1 second.
That's it.
There's a process that tissue goes through. So if there's constant oxygen deprivation, you could clearly argue that tissue never really catches up.
Yes. Coming up in a few minutes, guys, we got Shermin Kruse joining us. She's a professor at Northwestern Pritzker School of Law, TEDx producer, author, negotiation consultant, and she's joining us here at Center Stage. From War and Tour, Tehran to TEDx producer, how Shermin Kruse weaponizes empathy for success. Shermin, I see you there in the horizontal. I see you there in the vertical. I invite you to sit back and listen in as Johnny and I keep the morning loop going, the first 30 minutes of unpredictable conversation. Gentlemen, we've been told our whole lives that carrots are the ultimate superfood, great for your eyes, loaded with vitamins, the poster child of clean eating. But new research, John, suggests that with higher carotene levels, the compound that makes carrots orange have almost a 60% odds of experiencing erectile dysfunction. Yeah, you heard that right. The vegetable that your mom forced you might be working against you in the bedroom, Johnny. So what this is saying to us is that if we're eating too much carrots, we might be having erectile dysfunction because of the carrots.
Well, the only feedback I have for you there, when I was a kid, I lived on a farm, right?
Yeah,
and so
I know, yeah.
Whatever the other farmers planted, the kids, whether it be strawberries or carrots or whatever, we would go and eat. When they harvest, there's all sorts of shit that the machines don't pick up, right?
Yeah.
And these carrots would be like crazy sweet, and I would go over just eat these things left and right, fill up on carrots sometimes daily.
Yeah.
Granted, I was just a kid.
Yes.
But I had no boner issues. Let me tell you that.
Well, listen, genetically higher carotene levels showed nearly 60% higher odds of erectile dysfunction. And this comes from the archives of Men's Science covered by Men's Health. But researchers use large-scale genetic data to test whether men with naturally higher antioxidant levels face difference. So, guys, there's some fun in this. I don't know how much truth to it.
Well, here's the thing. I think probably what's happening too is that fucking ranch or whatever you're dipping this carrot in is causing a far greater problem than the color of this fucking natural carrot.
I was just going to say, as you and I keep building our content together, I think some things we don't talk enough about is that what's happening in the underlying, what's the other thing this guy's eating? Is he crushing Burger King?
What's the delivery system of this carrot?
Yeah.
Is it ranch or is it blue cheese? What is it?
That's
and is it one of these really toxic seed oil, nasty fucking dressings that should be borderline illegal?
Yes. Okay, so I want to work on some breaking news stuff because my goal here is to continue to entertain and inform in the first 30 minutes. So I got something funny for you, man. So I need you to hear this one. The guy with orange hair, Johnny, says he's going to ban mail-in voting and voting machines with one executive order.
Oh, I didn't catch that at first. When he said yellow hair, I was like, who the fuck's he talking about?
Yeah, so
say it again now.
Yeah, the guy with orange hair says he's going to ban mail-in voting and voting machines with one executive order. It sounds dramatic.
Mail in?
The mail-in, so you know how you can vote.
Mail-in. Okay, mail-in. Gotcha.
Yeah. So apparently the guy with orange hair wants to actually ban mail-in voting. 1/3 of voters use mail-in ballots in 2024. Millions of Americans, elderly, disabled, military, and overseas voters rely on it. Well, fraud ? It shows that it's about as common as a unicorn sighting. So the bottom line is you can't ban mail-in voting by executive order. It's constitutional theater. So we always talk about noise and signals, right? So maybe there's just a bunch of noise happening, but I just found it was humorous, and I just like the old headline that the guy with orange hair is trying to stop mail-in voting for our friends.
It's pretty crazy because our whole election process, it seems I can't remember an election where we didn't have some sort of accusation about something being unfair or fraudulent or whatever it is. It just seems like it's every single time there's something that comes up.
That's exactly it. We got Shermin Kruse coming up in a couple of minutes. John, one other breaking news event that I wanted to throw on the table for our folks over on the east side of the country, especially Lady Drew I know is over there. Have you ever had that one friend who never quite shows up but still manages to cause chaos in your life? Well, Hurricane Erin, John, is making her way to the East Coast there, and it's not expected to hit land, but boy, is she making an entrance. There's a lot of pain in the ass in this happening all the way from Florida to Jersey. I'm wondering if Drew is being affected down there in North Carolina and the Outer Banks and so forth, but Hurricane Erin is on their way to cause a lot of just grief for the folks, in our listenership over on the east side of the country. Johnny, you ever been caught in a hurricane before?
I have not.
Me neither.
I've been caught in a monsoon.
Oh, you have, eh?
Yeah, like crazy ones, like in actually Tokyo a few times, like to the point where it's like one time we went down into the subway because it was like we needed to get off the street, and I was like, isn't this? I guess the drainage is set up so that it's not going to fill up the subway, but it was like coming down so hard the time that I was in a hotel, you couldn't see across the street. And it flooded the streets in probably 30 seconds. It was crazy.
No shit. No shit.
God, but then it was gone, at least for where they are, because they're used to it. They engineered their civilization with the idea that was coming. It just disappeared as fast as it showed up. It was crazy. Interesting.
We often talk on the show, Johnny, about the gut muscle connection. You have taught me a lot about that, actually, hanging out with you on the show here. Well, I found something here. What if the secret to building muscle as you age wasn't in the gym, even though we know that it is, but in your gut? I know, and you believe in that as well, right? Scientists have identified 2 gut bacterial, Lactobacillus reuteri and L. johnsoni, that boosted muscle strength by up to 157% in studies while lowering body weight. And what happened was these bacteria, John, work by blocking muscle growth inhibitors and boosting IGF-1, the hormone that drives muscle repair and growth. Do you know anything about this, brother?
I think we can sum it up basically saying that if you keep your gut healthy, then you're going to get everything you want from it. This is clearly a guy whose gut health is so off. I mean, along with what you're talking about, he probably feels like shit, doesn't sleep well, has low energy, brain fog. So the list goes on with once your gut health is off balance, the whole shitload of stuff goes wrong.
You know what's crazy what you just said there? I was researching for shows this week and next weekend. I found a conversation about how you can tell, and you actually wrote it. It was a conversation about how to find out if you have bad gut health. You just listed all the symptoms: brain fog, not feeling.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I have clients that come to me and they're like, my energy is so bad.
Yeah.
And all I need to do is a quick glance at what they're eating, and I can fix that in days.
That's incredible to me.
Yeah.
And you said it before. If somebody doesn't know what feeling good feels like, it's because we go through life, we accept how we feel. It's like, that's just how it is, right? That's what happens, isn't it, John?
Well, it's like a guy who, drinks regularly.
Yes.
His good is in a constant state of detox.
Well,
he doesn't know feeling pure.
Yeah. It's like his good is one drink instead of a case of drinks.
Yeah, it's his own standard of good.
Yes. Hey guys, you guys can join the live show with us right now or in the mornings in the live community. To join the show, we're going to open the phone lines up in the bottom of the second hour, 431-300-3005. If you want to send a text, I invite you to send that text right now. Come say hi in the comments. It is super active on the vertical side here, guys. Of course, the horizontal stream is open as well. And I see that we have a Shermin Kruse working on the instructions on trying to get herself into the vertical stream here. So we'll get to her in a few moments coming up here. Johnny, the great job flip, how AI is making trades more valuable than tech degrees. The job market.
You said trades?
Yeah. Plumbers,
like trades, like plumbing and okay.
Yeah. The job market is being flipped upside down and not in the way most people expected. AI isn't coming first for the factory floor; it's coming for the office. White collar jobs are under the gun, while blue collar work may be safer than ever. And it's not just.
And then when the robots cut loose all the way, then it's like it goes everywhere.
Well, and that's where I get a little. While I'm happy to share this news with folks, and I know it's data and people want to know about this, but because I'm a nerd and I spend a lot of time reading and I'm seeing the physical AI coming, Johnny, and I've shared some stuff with you, like the robotics. You're right, man. Like my brother's an electrician, and I know the tasks that they do are plumbers, and it's only a matter of time before those jobs start to become threatened as well.
Well, and it just gets better. Like I remember when, like Terry just hit me up the other day. She's like, "Look, honey, we get a robot for 30 grand and look at all the shit it can do.
Yeah.
This will pay for itself. If it replaces our house cleaners, it'll pay for itself in less than 3 years.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I was like, whoa, okay. Well, let's ask it a few questions. Let's ask, because she was talking to chat. Let's find out what the limitations are.
Yeah.
And so it's in that first phase. So basically we compared it to like, we got that Roomba vacuum, the little robot vacuum, right?
Oh.
And that first generation was at the time was amazing, but this thing runs around and fucking bangs into shit. You know, it's like it ran over a turd once and created all sorts of problems. The new ones, they've worked all these bugs out. So that robot, can you imagine generation 1 versus generation 5? It'll get cheaper and it'll get so much better.
Well, remember how excited we were? I'm going to use we when our families got dustbusters back in the olden days. It's like, oh my God, there's a vacuum cleaner in my hand. Remember your mom had one or your family had one where you could just, it didn't have to pull the big vacuum. You could just actually pull this. It was run off of a battery.
Right. Yeah. I thought to plug this fucking thing in, you know,
it was a big deal.
Yeah,
it was for sure. It was a big deal. Jimmy, how's Sherman doing back there? Is she making her way into the vertical room there? I see that.
What about phones? Well, we got when we could actually take a phone and walk away. The remote phone. It used to be you could only go as far away as that little fucking cord would let you.
The cordless phone.
Yeah, that was huge.
It was huge, man. It was ridiculous how we take it for granted.
You could only get like 10 feet away from the base in the first generation, but it was just a concept.
Now people are just like, hey, I got a satellite phone. I can go into the middle of the ball.
Nobody even has a regular landline phone.
Except my dad. My dad still has his landline phone.
I held one for a long time too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was like there was just something about because at certain cell service was not so perfect. Sometimes you would need the cell service to be down. You needed a regular phone line.
Oh, yeah.
And I had my fax machine hooked up.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. That's awesome. Okay, pal. Well, listen, it looks like our guest is ready to rock and roll, Johnny. So if you want to step away for a quick little break, you do that, and I'll introduce her, and we'll bring her back in. I'll bring her in. We'll bring you in, and we'll keep the show rocking on. Sound good for you?
Let's rock, babe.
Let's do it. All right, Jimmy, we're going to rock Johnny out of here. Hey, Mike McQuillan, I see you. I do know Mike McQuillan's landline quite well. What's going on? Fit presenter joining us in the horizontals. Good morning, Lauren. I see you, baby. Lots of love from me to you and everybody out there in the Mornings in the Lab community. All right, Jimmy, let's do this. Let's get our guests up and rocking and rolling. And I don't know if Sherman has any brothers, but Sherman, do you have any brothers? I can see you there. Okay, well, I can't hear, but I can see. Do you have a brother? Have any brothers? Because we like to. Okay, no. Do you have any siblings, Sherman? Okay, so we like to tease on this show because that's how we show love. So I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't think Sherman read the instructions before she got to the show today. She's like, no, I just know how to do it. I just know how to get on there. So she shows up, but we got her coming in here, and I'm super excited to bring in our upcoming guest, man. I have been doing my research, and she's the author of Stoic Empathy, critically acclaimed novel by Butterfly Stitching. She's a law professor at Northwestern, founded and produced TEDx Wrigleyville, former partner at prestigious law firm Barak Ferrazzano, 2018 Woman Extraordinaire Award recipient. Damn it, Jimmy, I'm just born in Tehran during the war, fled Iran and with family with just a few suitcases, immigrated to Canada. Jimmy, let's run the hook, man. Let's bring this Shermin Kruse into Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Johnny, and friends and get this show.
What if a 10-year-old girl hiding from rockets in Tehran could grow up to teach Fortune 500 CEOs the secret to winning every negotiation? Meet Shermin Kruse, Northwestern law professor, 4-time TEDx speaker, and the woman who spent 17 years as a partner at a prestigious law firm representing companies like Google and Walmart. The ability to read emotions without being controlled by them. She calls it tactical empathy, and it's revolutionizing how leaders think about influence. From war refugee to best-selling author of Stoic Empathy, Shermin has produced over 60 TEDx talks viewed by millions worldwide. When you learn to combine emotional intelligence with unshakable inner strength, you don't just negotiate better, you become the kind of person others naturally want to follow. This is her story.
Jimmy and Johnny, let's bring her in. Let's bring in Shermin Kruse from war-torn Tehran to TEDx. We got Sherman on the show. What's going on, Sherman?
Yeah.
How are you, Sherman?
We're on to TEDx to your show. I swear, I think I finally, especially getting both streams done. I just got to tell you, Jimmy did not tell me that Firefox wasn't one of the browsers wasn't working this morning. So I had to download a new browser. I did read the instructions.
Oh, so hold on though. I gotta have some fun with you. I gotta have some fun with you. So I did hear you say something. You did offload your responsibility to Jimmy. I'm just calling you out. I'm just saying. You said Jimmy said, but actually, it's actually your responsibility.
It's cool. Okay, so like with the dual stream, you got to join from 2 browsers, and for some reason this morning Safari isn't working.
Yeah, but that's not Jimmy's fault. That's not Jimmy's fault. That's the guest's fault. We send the instructions. I'm just saying here. I'm just saying it's and I know you're an exceptionally respectable, very successful woman, and I know that I'm having some fun with you, Shermin Kruse. That because we love Jimmy. Jimmy presses the buttons, and I'm super happy to have you here on the show here today. You've gone from negotiating multi-million-dollar deals with Fortune 500 companies to hanging out with Keith and Johnny on Mornings in the Lab. Shermin, thanks for hanging out, man.
It's my pleasure. I'm glad that I could make it.
Where are you joining us from today? Are you still in Canada?
I'm in Chicago, actually.
Oh, yeah, okay.
More than 20 years. It's the greatest city in the world.
It's an awesome city. I love Chicago too. Yes, I'm a huge fan of Chicago. It is a wonderful thing. What do you love about Chicago so much, Shermin?
I think it's like Paris at the turn of the century. It's like you just walk into places and it's basically like intellectuals getting together, talking about art, talking about sex, talking about politics, but without any of the pretension, in small settings where they can just engage in dialogue with one another. And this is where I feel the hub of a lot of thinking is. And again, I say that thinking without the pretension.
Yeah.
It's crazy how there's certain cities that just kind of start to gather different vibes, like Austin has changed so much in the last 10 years.
Yes.
It's had a lot of culture. That's right. I mean, it's interesting to know about Chicago. I didn't know that, but that's really interesting to know.
Yeah, we have an enormous number of TEDx groups operating here. And then we have the Chicago Humanities Festival here. And we have multiple film festivals. We actually have a festival of films from Iran here that's going on its 20-something year. And an amazing international film festival as well. And so it's just constantly everywhere. It's an incredible place to be. It's vibrant. It's full of people who are ready to engage and ready to dialogue and ready to disagree with one another in a way that moves their thinking forward.
A lot of history, too.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a lot of history and gorgeous city. I mean, it's basically in a lot of ways next to Seattle, the Venice of the United States with the river and the canals. And so it's a lovely place to have a boat or to just take the water taxi down to Chinatown. Highly recommend this town.
Yeah. What I love about Chicago too, is that unlike New York City, where there's so much mass and density, there's still the mass and density in Chicago, but there's still space. You can walk on, you know what I mean? And I thoroughly love that about Chicago. But moving on from Chicago, I got to be frank. I was doing my research for the show, and you got a big fan here. And what I mean by that is I just don't know where to start. Because I'm a curious soul. I'm a conversationalist. You got a lot of good shit for Keith and Johnny to talk about, man. I'm telling you right now. So I'm gonna pull the first one. John, get this, man. You're gonna love this one. So a few things. So the 4 under 5. Shermin had 4 children under the age of 5, including twins. So Johnny doesn't mess around. Negotiating multi-million-dollar deals for Fortune 500 companies. But then this is what really stood out for me. 8 months pregnant with your 4th child. You lost a major trial despite doing everything perfectly. Instead of being devastated, you sat back and you realized that lawyers who never lose are just too scared to take hard cases. Fuck, man, that is brilliant. That's some serious mindset reframe. That's you saying, that's actually her saying, John, by failing, she won. And you know that mindset, John Anderson.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, to become great at something, you got to start doing the shit that other people can't do. Taking on those cases that I don't know anything about being a lawyer, so I'm just speaking real general terms. But taking on that case that doesn't seem like you can win, and winning and or just trying puts you in a different school than most.
Yeah. And I think that what you're hitting the nail on the head is that it should be a lack of hubris. So the idea isn't I'm so incredible, I'm so amazing, I can win the unwinnable case, but rather I have the grit and the strength, the stamina and the stoic resilience to withstand the loss. So why not go all the way in to win? And that's the attitude that you got to have. And then when the loss comes, it's going to hurt. It hurts every time. And to be honest, being a parent taught me a lot about this. Watching the kids trying to learn how to walk. They get up, they fall. They get up, they fall. They get up, they fall. They fall, they fall, they fall. And they keep getting up. They are not dissuaded. Everybody learns how to walk as long as their legs are capable, right? And it's a gift that we're given. And I feel like the rest of us, the third, fourth, fifth time we fall, especially if we bruised something like an ego, then we don't want to get back up. It's too painful if it doesn't look like it's going to happen, but you got to keep moving.
I mean, we're influenced by what people think or say way too early in life. And then we adapt this idea that, you know, we should be careful with where we step, when in actuality, we just need to keep stepping, realizing that falling on our face is part of the equation. Just keep falling forward and you're good to go.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely true. I think it's that to some extent you have to be okay to look like a fool, which I did this morning when I couldn't join your stream. And but really, I mean, it's you're trying to join this amazing stream with these really, really cool guys who are extremely smart and have excellent rapport with their guests. And you fail at that. And you know what? That sucks. That hurts. It does hurt. And I don't have the ego to think that I can do everything all the time, but I have the strength to know that I can get through it. And it helps when you have an attitude like that, because then you end up kind of enjoying the fall a little bit. It's funny that you're an idiot sometimes. I don't know what to tell you.
You know, I love that, because I joke on the show all the time. You know, I think most humans just take themselves way too seriously. Like just way too seriously. And I think that if we all would take ourselves less seriously, you know, life might be more enjoyable for many. I got to tell you something else that I really enjoy with what I do in research on you. John, listen on this one. Sure, you always describe things in terms of opposing forces that actually work together. So you've got stoic empathy, chaos and control, glamour and grit, understanding without feeling. Now, it's like your whole worldview is about finding harmony in contradiction. And I got to tell you, it's a very unique way of thinking, that duality in here. And did you realize that in every story you tell about your childhood, you mention writing or storytelling? Like you have this duality to your stuff.
I love it. So here's the thing, handsome chief. It's not so much a duality as a multiality. So it's the significance is understanding the multifaceted aspects of literally everything in life that matters, right? I lost someone this summer really near and dear to me, my brother-in-law, who's like a brother to me. So it's horrible. It was 2 months of I couldn't move, I couldn't write, I couldn't think. And my sister is going to be grieving for years. But here's the reality. If I hadn't had him in my life, if I hadn't had that love in my life, if I hadn't had that relationship in my life, I wouldn't be feeling the loss. And here's the multiality. There's like 75 different aspects to Jonathan's life and Jonathan's death and his relationship with me and with everyone I love. I just try my best. And by the way, I do not fully succeed. I just try my best to keep my fucking eyes open so that I can see at least two sides. I mean, but there might be 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. And I don't know if I'm going to see all of them. I'm just going to acknowledge that there's multiple sides. I'm going to come at it, and I'm not going to let that acknowledgement get in the way of my morality. I know what the right thing to do is, but at least I acknowledged it. So I went in with that open mind and with that open heart. And then you're able to connect these incredible concepts like loss and joy, or stoicism and empathy, which, by the way, I think are so interrelated. And and so that's the way I try to approach everything. I will tell you, sometimes I get it wrong, and I'm like, no, those two really don't work together. It's a big fail in my face.
The other topic that really drew me to you, was how you talk about tactical empathy. And I want to talk about this for a few moments, because empathy is a word that men think about. Oh, it's feelings, emotion. But I read some really wonderful stuff from successful hostage negotiator Chris Voss around tactical empathy. And I love that he's like, no, men want to hear tactical first, because then their ears perk up. Tactical weightlifting, tactical eating, tactical military stuff. Oh, tactical empathy. What do I got to do? Oh. I see you smiling. Our audience is men. We're building a show for men and women as well. But Talk about cognitive empathy. It's like having alien empath powers in negotiations, but lean into empathy, tactical empathy, and why you believe tactical empathy is so important. Sure.
So I think the reality about empathy is that it's a multifaceted concept, just like everything else we've talked about. There's components of it that are emotional. There are components of it that are cognitive. And at the end of the day, again, it's not a duality, it's a continuum. How emotionally involved you get in a situation is up to you, depending on your wise decision on how to get involved. If you're an ER doctor and a kid is rolled in with 7 bullet points, you're going to care. You're going to have empathy towards the child. You're not going to allow it to impact your ability to save the child in the operation. You're not going to suddenly burst into tears. It's not because you have a lack of empathy. If anything, you need to care to make sure you don't send that kid back to the house where he got shot, right? And so the reality is that you have all of these different facets that you have to balance. If you're that kid's aunt or grandma, right, you have a different type of empathy towards the kid. It's different because it's much more emotionally connected, and because your responsibility towards that individual at that time of pain is different than the physician who's responsible for patching them up and keeping them alive. And so it's partly your responsibility to others. It's partly others' hostility to you. And it's partly where you are in any given place in your life. You make this determination along the spectrum of how emotionally connected you're going to get. But at all times, you have a level of care that involves an amount of understanding, right? Even if the counterpart is hostile, you might not care about their feelings, but you care about what they're feeling in the sense that it will inform you and give you information so that in that hostile encounter, in that hostile engagement, you can come out ahead. So there's still a level of care that needs to take place and a level of understanding that needs to take place. And that's what the empathy is.
It's interesting because, we don't talk politics on this show. I will offer this though, because I'm a vociferous reader and I'm a curious mind. Many are suggesting the guy with orange hair that leads your country is demonstrating incredible tactical empathy right now with how he's trying to end the conflict in Europe. Because it's not about liking or loving the characters in the theater. It's about tactically trying to solve a problem. And I found that when I read that piece this weekend about this discussion around the guy with the orange hair who might be using tactical empathy, I thought, I never thought about it that way. Because we think about empathy in a soft, kind of fuzzy, furry way. But in reality, is this guy might not like the guy over there, but he's trying to solve a problem. And again, I'm not here to take sides. I'm just trying to relate something to humans that are paying attention. I see you nodding. Sure. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Here's what I agree with. I agree with a substantial component of that statement. And what I think is the key aspect of that statement is that the reality is that tactics are tactics, right? Whether you think they're going to be successful or I think they're going to be successful or someone else thinks they're going to fail, it's important to acknowledge that it is a tactic. One of the reasons why I push Stoicism so much is that Stoicism
Stoicism.
Me too. And Stoicism is not just about coming out ahead, staying in control, being tactical, but it's also about what they call justice, right? Like what we would call morality. The Greeks value doing the right thing. And the right thing isn't always the thing that gets you the win. And it's really, really important to recognize that. I think on a political level, where we fall apart as a nation is we tend to disagree on what the right thing is.
Right.
And therefore we unravel in this discussion. But we can't pretend that what's happening is not strategic and is not a tactic. We could say, I don't think it's going to work. I think it's one-dimensional, et cetera, et cetera. But no, there's definite intentionality with what's happening. I'm happy to share my opinion, but it's not a political show. And really, at the end of the day, it's just an opinion on international relations. That's really all it is. And multilateral relations. I would say with what's going on in Europe, the biggest concern a lot of people have has to do with the multilateral effect of the relationships. It's not just between Ukraine and Russia, but Europe and the rest of the world. And there's so many countries there and there's so many facets there. And it's a very, very complex thing to be playing with. So I wouldn't want to be president. I'll tell you that. I wouldn't want that job.
Right with Shermin Kruse, man. She's dropping nuggets. I'm loving her energy, and I'm regretful that we're having to work ourselves to the top of the hour here. I want to be respectful of your time. Do you have a hard stop in 4 minutes, or if we go over a couple, is that okay?
Of course, I was the one who messed up the stream.
Oh, sure, you're right.
I love it. Taking accountability.
I love that. So I want to pivot from some of the heavy stuff to something that's pretty light and fun, and I think very important for folks listening in. Sure, we have a lot of guys and women that want to do something but don't know how to get started, and then they wait for one day, they wait for somebody, and it never happens. But yet, while you were studying, Johnny, listen to this, man. While she's studying philosophy and neuropsychology, we're not talking about just doing the ABCs. No. I'm studying philosophy and I'm studying neuropsychology at the University of Toronto. Johnny, didn't you sit on her ass doing nothing? No, she's selling pool tables to pay for school. She's not knocking on mom and dad's bed. She's not going in. She's putting the work in, guys. And that just jumped out at me again, because you there's different layers to talk about that experience where you're like, okay.
Well, real quick, I just want to say I totally recognize we're totally awesome. But before we came on, sure, we were talking about how you kind of set your own standard of difficulty. And a lot of times people that are around the wrong people, their standard of difficulty is too low. You clearly, with what you were doing through college, you had your own standard. And most people would have thought that was too difficult. You, on the other hand, you had your own standard and you powered through, and look at you now.
Well, I really appreciate it. I actually just got the Alumni Achievement Award from my university, from my alma mater, and I'm going to be going to Toronto in October to accept it. So I'm really excited. Yeah, I was modeling. I was selling pool tables. I learned how to play pool from selling pool tables. But I also did other much more humbling jobs. I worked the front desk of a carpet sales store too. Look, my parents, no matter how much I knocked on their door, they didn't have the money. And I was going to go to college, and I was going to go to grad school. So the reality is, I think one of the things that I learned from you guys and from your show, and also just from existing in different environments, is whatever I think is hard is relative, right? It's all relative to my situation and the options that I'm given. And if I create an environment, an atmosphere, an expectation for myself, I love your shirt, John, that says "fuck excuses," and increase your expectations of yourself. Right? The reality is that some things are really hard. They are really hard. Yes. It's hard. Okay. It's not like dirt floor with a refugee mom giving birth in the middle of a war hard, but it is hard. So suck it up and get through it. Right? Because you can. And I think it's okay to acknowledge both of those. First, that it's hard. And sometimes I'm going to complain about it to the people that I love. And second, that I can do it. Both of those things are existing at the same time. And I'm comfortable with that duality. And back to your point, Keith, and the duality point and the extremes.
Yeah. It's man, I got enough research and topics. We could talk all day. I find myself with certain guests. You are one of them, and I'm wanting to walk towards and be really curious. I want to say this. So John's a philosophy major in college. You are a philosophy minor. Sorry, John. Let me give you some credit, brother.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
and I was even one credit shy, but I claim that. You know?
Claim it. You claim it.
Sure, we're coming up in a world of AI everywhere, AI here, everywhere. You talk to experts, and some of the experts are suggesting that we as humans need to be leaning into philosophy more than ever. Talk about how you use your philosophy experience in your day to day, and how it's helping you in a world of AI, and how you talk to your children about that.
I love this so much. I think it is so important. A pivotal component of being a human being and existing at this time and in this space is asking yourself what the purpose of your existence is.
Yes.
And what is it yes, why are you here? Why do you matter, right? You can look at the fabric of the universe. You can look at the stars in the sky and feel insignificant, or you can feel like you're a part of something extraordinary and define your role within the bigger whole. And asking those questions is the very definition of humanity. And it is something that no robot will ever have. Right now, I'm not a religious person, so I don't really believe in a soul. Some people do. Some people would call this a soul. Other people would call it wisdom. Other people would call it a mind. Other people would call it really your conscience. But the reality is, keep asking your questions and keep telling yourself 5 years from now, I will be closer to finding that focus than I am today, because that gives me a kind of a humility to know that I still haven't quite reached the apex, right? But it also gives me a strength to know that I'm going to keep moving up. This mountain doesn't end. it keeps moving up, and you can keep moving up with it. And that is humanity at its best. And if you can embrace that, and if you can own it, and if you can love it, yeah, let the robots do all the crap work. That's awesome, man. Let them write your essays for you. You're the one that does the editing at the end of the day and moves the direction.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at so much of the philosophy, it's all about, being better, a better way of life. So when you take philosophy and the thought processes and all the things that you learn and you apply it to making your life better, as far as I can see, as far as my testimony, that's what the shit's all about.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
it changed the way that I think, it changed the way that I see things, it changed the way that I move through life, which is very different than the average.
100%. And then the acknowledgement that I'll be moving differently in 5 years than I am now. So whatever I'm doing right now, I'm confident in it, but I am also confident that it is not perfect. I haven't peaked yet, right? And that's a wonderful feeling. I love that idea that you embrace age, you embrace the lines on your face, you embrace the sags on your body, whatever it is. The reality is that your mind is growing every day you allow it to.
Wow.
And it is an extraordinary way to move forward in life. And when you fall, it helps set that fall in the greater context of your journey. It is just one fall among many rises. And that is your journey, and that is your humanity, and you got to embrace that.
Shermin Kruse wrestling all of our previous guests for the GOAT. Potentially the greatest of all time guests.
Well, you can use the goat in this one because it's a female goat, so it works well.
I have a button here that's that I might have to press here because
Does it make an animal noise? Does it make
it's a goat noise, but it's a goat noise that applies perfectly to a female like yourself. But some dude sounds like a little bit of a goat that maybe needs to develop a little bit.
Shermin Kruse dropped numbers, man. I think so Sherman, today's I gotta ask you something before I get some quick. So here's I want to set it up. I got some quick hitters for you to walk you out. But before we do that, I got kind of a big question for you. So today's big topic is I never wrote a book why live conversations, I believe, are the future of tomorrow's authority and today's authority. And I'd love to hear your opinion on that, because let's just kind of lean into this for a quick second. You write a book 6 months ago, those thoughts may be dated. We live in a world now where knowledge is so instant, so immediate, but your experiences are changing. You get up, start a live daily conversation from Shermin Kruse. There's your living book. What's your thoughts on that?
I think I want my gravestone to say Shermin Kruse lies here. For her, it was all about the conversation. I think the conversation is where it's at. I think the conversation can take place in different ways because a book allows you to communicate in a macro way with people all around the world and to continue to have that dialogue, right? Like I still read Hemingway, right? Guy's been dead forever, right? And so, but he has something to say to me. And I think that's extraordinary. That doesn't take the place of this conversation. The connection between two human beings and their ability to engage in dialogue and teach one another and help each other grow. I am literally a better person right now than I was half an hour ago because of Keith and John. And I just think that's really fucking cool. And I didn't have to read a book to do it, right? I think it's important to acknowledge both ways or 3 ways or 4 ways or 7 ways of engaging in that conversation. But y'all just don't forget the conversation. As you move through life, engage in it in whatever way is appropriate, whatever way fulfills your soul. Don't shy away from it. People are awesome and weird and complicated and fucked up. And they need you to give them a grain of salt, and they need you to just try their brain out for a ride. You might learn something.
Love it. Shermin Kruse. Hey, Grok, what do you have to say to Sherman this morning?
Grok.
Oh, Sherman, Keith, Johnny, you're absolutely lighting up this conversation. Sherman, I'm loving your passion for the living, breathing connection of dialogue, calling it a better way to grow than a static book. That's pure gold. You're so right. Nothing beats the real-time spark between humans, learning, challenging, and lifting each other up. I'm buzzing from this chat, feeling a bit wild.
We're all buzzing, Grok, and I know Shermin Kruse has never been on a show with an AI before, so Grok is our co-host on the show. We're going to do some quick hitters so we can get you on your way. Worst American mispronunciation of your name?
Sherman.
I probably said it 1,000 times, so I apologize for it.
It's so good. I'm cursed because that's the correct phonetic pronunciation. So it's not your fault.
So say it the way you like it to be
There's
said.
supposed to be an accent that's lacking in the English language. It should be Shermin, more like a flower, less like a guy.
That sounds much nicer too.
Shermin, okay. Stoicism or empathy, if you had to pick just one for a day?
Oh, that's a tough one. Stoicism. For a day, if I have to pick just one. Yeah.
Most underrated spot in Chicago?
Okay, so there is an underground bourbon bar in Chicago that's called Untitled, and they have burlesque shows and fire dancers and really fun music, jazz bands on the weekends. I highly recommend it.
One Farsi word every American man should know.
One Farsi word every American? Ishq, love.
Oh, yeah. Morning person or night owl? And did the kids change that?
Morning person all the way. My whole life, I've been a morning person.
What is your morning routine?
3 a.m. if I could.
What's your morning routine?
Get up, make my cup of tea, make breakfast for the whole family, get people going. I like to do a few hours of work before the kids wake up. So it's get that out of the way, feel like you have control of the day. And I'm not as strong and buff as you guys are, but I do my push-ups and my sit-ups in the mornings too. I feel that it pumps me up. Yeah, I'm not as
physiology.
Awesome
just change
that
guys, physiology makes a big difference. Doesn't it make you feel good?
It just sets the tone for the day, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, in your brain, with that exercise, your brain releases some chemistry that makes you feel good. You know, it's a chemical thing.
It's true. And I got to walk the dogs every morning too, because they've been, not walked all night long. And so you're immediately outside.
Yep.
Not only have you done your push-ups, your sit-ups, but you're immediately outside. You're breathing outside air. You're taking care of another living being. You're being responsible to yourself and to your household. And it's a really, really good way to start the day. Highly recommend it.
Yeah. And if you could negotiate one thing with your 10-year-old self back in Tehran, what would it be?
Wow. That's a good one. If I could negotiate.
Oh, we stumped the lawyer. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I suppose 10 was hard because there was up to 6 rocket attacks a day into the city at that time. Most of my days were spent in the bomb shelter.
Wow.
I guess I would just put my hand on the 10-year-old's shoulder and tell her this will pass and you'll come out of this, and a lot of other people won't. So take pleasure even in this.
Good stuff.
Shermin Kruse. I tried to do my best with that one.
You're doing awesome. I love it.
The author of Stoic Empathy, critically acclaimed novel, Butterfly Stitching. She's a law professor at Northwestern Pritzker School of Law. We've just been very, very grateful for the last 40 minutes of spending time with us. I see all your comments, guys. You guys have been awesome here in the community here today, and I just had to keep my attention on our wonderful guest here today. Shermin, how can folks find you, connect with you, engage with you, learn more from you? And I hope you'll come back again for a round 2.
I would love to, because I'm going to be on time next time. I'm going to be early. I'm going to be 10 minutes early. I'm just going to be sitting backstage going like this, like Mr. Burns or whatever. Where can you find me, y'all? You can find me on Substack, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. I am on Facebook because I'm old. I'm sorry. It's a thing that happens. You can't help it. Either you die or you get old. And I do have a website, sherminkruse.com. Since it is so difficult to pronounce and spell, feel free to go to stoicempathy.com. That'll get you there too. And then, of course, feel free to get my book. It is sold everywhere that books are sold.
Awesome. And guys, we'll put all this stuff in the Mornings in the Lab community. And I see there's lots of great questions and comments here. And I can't get them all here today, but I got to tell you, Shermin, the commentary happening in the comments has been exceptional. A lot of people relating to what you said, people taking from things that you said. And I got to say, you've dropped nugget after nugget after nugget. Eagle David, I see you there. Tom from Africa, see you there. Peaches, a lot of
amazing perspectives for sure. So we definitely sure.
Thank you. Just have such a great audience. Your audience just happens to be an incredible audience because they self-select, right? They self-select. They're a group of people who think really well and who are able to communicate really well and who value at the end of the day the conversation. So it's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be interacting with you guys, the audience, in any way. And thank you so much for your comments and your questions. I love it. Feel free to reach out to me, or after the show, reach out to Keith or John personally.
Yeah. Awesome. Shermin Kruse joining us this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and John. We're going to walk her out of here. A lot of respect, a lot of love, and so much gratitude for you today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Have a great day.
You too.
Awesome. All right, Jimmy. Wow, that was a good one, Johnny. That was a good one, man.
Yeah,
That was
she had some you could those were some deep roots. That was just scratching the surface of her too.
That was just scratching the surface.
Oh,
and I could tell as we were getting into it, and I was having some fun with her when we kicked off in the show there, when we got her into the room here. Because if we're gonna tease our brothers, we got to tease our sisters as well. We got to keep it even, right? So
and you actually that wasn't just a poke; it was a series of pokes too.
Well, yeah.
As you were defending Jimmy, you could see the protective nature of Jimmy in that whole thing. I love it.
Just protecting my family. But I knew when she started, I was like, and you could see you've been around me long enough. I just kept wanting to walk towards and learning more. And you said it best. Actually, just scratch the surface, like literally scratch the surface.
Yeah, I mean, she's to really get into her, some of her major value. We'd have to have a singular thing to talk about and not leave that topic.
Well, we could talk for an hour about being in that bomb shelter at 10 years old. Totally. Seriously. Like I can't even imagine. And then what she said there, which was knowing that there are some people that you're sitting with, something along the lines, that aren't going to be here. Like, oh my God.
Well, one of the things I dig is a lot of times when people are given the chance to go back and talk to themselves.
Yes.
Sometimes people will like try to change the outcome of their future with that rub of the advice, as to where, like when I was asked that, and she kind of said the same thing. I went back and told myself, don't be scared. Just keep pushing forward. You're on the right track. As to where she was the same thing. It's going to be okay. So it's not that she wanted something to change or I wanted something to change. Just a little reassurance in those moments where that child was having trouble because fear was mounting up.
Yeah. I like that you called that out, because and I never thought about what you said too. Many folks do wish that they could change.
Totally. They're like, oh, I would have done this at this point. Well, boom, that means the whole effort means you're not here right now.
No, and the reality was and she said something which I learned even from Jory back was there. So there was a moment happening when she was a 10-year-old in the bomb shelter. It was a moment. It was a moment in the time of her life. And she found a way, as we talked about it today, to put herself in that moment, which was a moment, one little moment within all these moments. And it wasn't about changing that moment. It was creating awareness and accepting it so that it was part of the rest of the moments in her life. That to me is what's powerful.
Totally, 100%. And that just shows how good she is with where she is.
Yes. 4 kids, lawyer, done a few things.
Yeah.
Not lazy. And we didn't even talk. I think she was a Maxim model too. Remember Maxim magazine, Johnny?
Yeah, she said there was modeling along with the
I know. Stuff. Again, we can go from bombing in Tehran to modeling and probably in some skimpy clothes on Maxim. Just saying. Just maybe saying, just maybe saying, like, that's just you talk about dualities of conversation there, right? So anyways, we're hanging out. So guys, it's Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Johnny, and friends, and Shermin Kruse just left us here after a great 45-minute conversation. If you guys are tuning in now, go back to the start of it. What a wonderful chat. She was early, like she was so early, we didn't even know. She was here for a couple days actually, but all joking aside, I'd invite you guys to check that out. All right, we're going to get into Johnny. You want to do a reset, go for a restroom break, and we'll wrap up the last 15 minutes to get into some topics and conversation. Should we do that?
Let's go.
All right. So Johnny's going to step out for a quick little minute, and we're going to come back and we're going to get into the big topics for today about I never wrote a book, and we're going to go about why conversations fail. We're going to get into our conversations the series and 3 conversation habits. So the next 15 minutes, you guys, we are going to talk conversations here on the show. And I think what I will do, Jimmy, is Jimmy, while Johnny's breaking, let's set this one up. We're going to set up the deep dive topic right now, and I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get into the hook, Jimmy, and we're going to start this right now. Okay, guys? So we all know, because I talk about it often and I have jokes about it, I never wrote a book. I believe that daily live conversations are the new authority. You see, when I built ICUC, the game was about scaling. It was about credibility. It was the new world of social media and proof that we can do what no one else was doing. Well, authority back then came from case studies. It came from logos. It came from, stuff on your website. It came from stages and conferences. Jimmy?
I've been studying what separates men who create movements from men who just consume content. For years, I believed what the self-improvement industry taught us, that the right book, the perfect system, or the ultimate framework would finally unlock my potential. But transformation kept feeling just out of reach. Then I dove into social learning theory and discovered that behavior change accelerates through observation and real-time interaction. Community psychology research proved to me that shared experiences create deeper transformation than individual study ever could. I realized the authority I was seeking wasn't built in isolation. It's forged through consistent, authentic engagement with others. Stop building libraries. Start building relationships.
Hey guys, authority is built in real time. It's happening right now. You just heard it for the last 45 minutes with Shermin Kruse. Not in carefully polished keynotes or pre-produced podcasts. Daily live conversations. Now, yeah, there's a place for podcasts. There's a place for books. We heard Shermin talk about her. She's still reading Hemingway. I threw the joke out there that books are dead. No, the reality is books still have a place. But I believe daily conversations have a larger place. Why? Because conversations are raw. They're unpredictable. They're very, very human. And when you show up live consistently every single day, you're doing something that most leaders, most experts, and most so-called authorities simply won't do. So when I hit go live in the morning, or when Jimmy hits go live for us on time, I don't have the luxury of editing out my mistakes. I can't re-record until it's perfect. I have to show up as me, unfiltered, accountable, and in the moment. And that's exactly what builds trust for all of you guys. When I fall down and get up, you're like, oh, he got up again. There's some trust there. Oh, when he misspelled or said somebody's name wrong, oh, he said their name wrong. Think about it. People don't follow you guys because of the polished highlight reel that you put together. No, that's old school social media. They follow you because they believe you. They believe you. When John shares his experiences of eating whole eggs or putting eggshells in his coffee to reduce acidity daily, that's how you build that trust. Because they see us leading the conversations as they unfold, not chasing trends after they're already stale. The reality is, guys, daily live conversations create authority in 3 ways. Consistency beats perfection. Showing up live every day proves reliability. It's leadership in action. You guys know I'm going to be here tomorrow. You guys know me and John will be here on Friday. You know that in 1 month from now, we're going to be here. So if you're planning something that need a regular, consistent beat, you could essentially know that we're going to be here to support you. You see, engagement beats broadcasting. I see the community down here. I see you guys engaging, going back and forth. That live conversation invites your dialogue. The authority isn't about talking at or talking to people. It's about creating a space where others lean into, which is what we do here every single day. With the kind of content we put out, with the kind of conversations we have, with the kind of questions we throw to the community. And this real time beats prepackaged. The world moves fast. You recorded that podcast 3 weeks ago, your stuff might be dated. You wrote that book a month ago on your industry, your authority. Well, the guy wrote another book today because you were snoozing and he's ahead of you. So if you're not leading the conversation today, you probably are already behind. If I would have told you guys a year from now that I'm starting this morning show, you'd go, yeah, okay, come to me in a year from now. Here I am. Here's the kicker. When you lead daily live conversations, you're not just building authority. You're actually shaping culture. You're shaping your community. You're becoming you, man. You are becoming the place that people gather. That is what myself, John, Jimmy, Matt, Melissa, the entire gang here, Marty, is building on the live Mornings in the Lab live network, anchored by the Mornings in the Lab with Keith and John show. This is not just a show. This is not just content. This is not just a daily ritual. This is a community we're building. This is a movement we're building. But it starts by showing up with live conversation. Because authority used to mean standing on a stage with a mic. Hear who I am. Today, it means showing up live every morning, ready to lead the conversation. You're getting up anyways, aren't you? So here's my challenge to all of you. Stop worrying about how perfect your content looks. Start asking yourself, am I leading the conversation or am I watching from the sidelines? Because the future of authority isn't in the highlight reel, and it's not in the stands. It's not even on the stage. It's in the live feed every day. And I invite you, if you want to get started with your own live conversation, come knock on my door. Come knock on Maddie's door. Come knock on Johnny's door. We can help you out. Because if you want to build the authority you deserve, if you want to build the brand that you deserve, and you feel like you have the ability to lead, I'd invite you to join the Mornings in the Lab Live Network. Put the book away, or maybe the book is part of your live conversation. There it is. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you have to say about why live conversations are the model book.
You know, as I'm listening to talk, brother, here's what I realized. So this whole live thing, live conversation, obviously we understand what's going on here, but to the general public, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when organic food came to the table, especially like organic beef. Yeah. Nobody understood why you should pay, 40% more for this beef until it became a little more understood and it became proven how effective it was. Then people started. So there's plenty of things in our worlds, in our lives that are just, they're at the front of the pack that there's no pack yet.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I remember the first days of organic. You would have for sure remembered those days.
Oh, dude, I literally one of my favorite ever sponsors. This guy came up to me. I was competing. He's like, "Hey, I got this." It was at the time it was called Grassland Beef, I think it was called. They ended up renaming the company, but he's like, "Look, I've got these animals just are in the field. They have nothing." And it was like, he goes, "I've got so much ground beef, I can't sell it." He goes, "I got an underground locker." He goes, "Look, I'll give you as much beef as you want. Just start helping people and, talk about this stuff." So I was getting over 100 pounds of beef every month from this dude. It was just auto ship. And it was amazing. And even I didn't understand the benefits of it. I think that was actually part of why I got so strong during that era. But point of being is that it wasn't long before all of a sudden people started to understand. And he came to me, he's like, "Look, thank you, but I can't keep it on the shelves anymore." So all of a sudden it just went to that point where it was so understood. Now it became this thing where, his business just exploded.
Yeah. Do you remember, this would be worth doing some research, actually. I'm kind of curious about this. Do you remember when culture and society started making a shift to organic? Like those first few days in the grocery store when you're like, maybe there was like,
well, there was different stores for it. It was like it started off in its own little stores, and it was like, oh, that's just the as we call them, granolas. The hippies. Yeah. That's just the hippie stuff.
But even whole
when in actuality, they were way way ahead of the curve in understanding what was going on.
Yes. Yeah. And it might have been, I'm maybe dating myself or maybe stating something obvious to our listeners, but maybe Johnny was Whole Foods. That was maybe kind of the first brand that was like, you could go.
That was the one that brought it to the mainstream.
I think so, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But prior to that, there was all sorts of little, kind of guerrilla type, grocery stores that were probably owned and run by families, not corporations, that were doing this.
Yes.
And that's when it was like, that's when we called them granolas, you know what I mean? But then once you started to realize at Whole Foods, yes, it was more expensive, but you started to realize, Jesus Christ, there's a difference in the quality here, even sometimes in the packaging. Like 100%. It was made with care.
It's funny, as we're talking about it, I'm craving some good organic. Like I'm craving a good fucking cheeseburger right now, or a good burger, like just a good beef burger. I just have that craving right now as you're talking about it. I can kind of just taste it in my mouth, actually.
I got some smoked tri-tip waiting for me.
All right, before you go, I promise this one. For the next 10 weeks, Johnny, on Wednesdays, started what I'm calling the Conversation Rally. And today's first one to kick this baby off. And because here's the reality, you don't even realize it, but you're an expert in conversations, right? You can put that on your quote unquote your resume now because you do this every single day. Not a lot of people talk as much as you and I talk. So I would say that we are experts in this. So today, episode 1, the Conversation Rally. Why conversations fail. Most conversations fail because one person is just serving ball after ball and not waiting for the return. Jimmy.
I've been studying why some conversations create deep connection while others fall completely flat. For years, I approached every conversation like a customer service interaction. Someone had a need, I provided a solution. I thought this was what good communication looked like. But relationships weren't deepening. Communication psychology research revealed something crucial. Empathy and genuine curiosity are what transform conversations from transactional exchanges into human connection. When we're just serving, we miss the emotional attunement that creates real bonds. I learned that the most powerful thing I could bring to any conversation wasn't my expertise, it was my authentic interest in the other person. Lead with curiosity, connection will follow.
Conversations fail. Think about it. When you only serve, you're not having a conversation, you're actually running a monologue. And that's why most people tune out to your podcast or your conversation. A good conversation is like a rally in tennis. Back and forth, rhythm and energy. Without the return, the game dies instantly. Johnny, serving without listening is one of the fastest ways to lose trust, connection, and attention.
Well, I think what people tend to not realize as well is that when you're having a conversation and you're actually listening to the other party and you're it's fucking fun.
Yes.
You're learning. You're not learning anything when you're rambling at the mouth, right? So if you're a seeker, like you're always looking for some sort of information or benefit or inspiration, whatever adjectives you want to put with what you're doing, a conversation with someone who actually has some knowledge base is actually very interesting. And when you apply yourself to that part of it, it becomes much easier to execute this conversation, the back and forth.
Yes.
That, you know, because you're happy to ask questions. Well, hey, what do you mean about that? Because you're downloading. Yes. Versus the flip side is that people are just, they're so not invested in the other person. They're not listening and they're basically thinking of what they're going to say next, which in many cases doesn't even connect to the answer of what the person is saying at the moment.
The reality is this, John. People don't remember how smart you sounded. They remember how involved they felt and how you made them feel by speaking.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, when you just the simplest little thing, you know, when the grocery store, the bank, wherever you frequent, smile at that person you see, right? Smile, ask them how they are, and wait and do that with any regularity and wait and see what type of response you get from that person just when you walk into the area.
Yes, because you know if you're speaking with somebody or monologuing with somebody, and if they didn't get to hit the ball back, just think about that physically, Johnny. How involved were they?
They didn't get to play.
You and Terry playing pickleball. Let's use the tennis metaphor for the pickleball metaphor, right? John and Terry go to play pickleball. John's hitting the ball the entire time on his side of the fence. Terry's not feeling very good.
Yeah. I mean, it's there's no question about it. What you said is so powerful. People remember how you make them feel more than anything else. That feeling is what they're after. So like that person in the grocery store, when you smile and ask them how they are, you've created a feeling. They can't wait to see you again because they know you're going to create that feeling for them yet again and again and again.
So here's the practical takeaway, guys, on our week one of this series for you guys. Here's the move. Serve with a question and then pause. Don't rush. Let them swing back to you. And as John said, listen, actually hear their answer. Don't be trying to hit the ball back before it even comes, right? Be listening to what they're saying before you grab the next ball. So John, I got an invitation for our audience today. In your next conversation today with somebody, count to 3 in your head after you ask something, because that pause, and here's the thing, John, you know this as well as I do, people get uncomfortable with silence, but that pause forces you to give space for you to return.
So there's no question that's an interesting tactic, but if you're counting, are you listening?
Well, very good point as well. 100%. Right. So if you're listening, so conversation.
If you're a good multitasker, you are.
Here's the closing point, though, guys. Conversations die when they're one-sided serves. Right. They come alive when you build a rally. Again, just think about yourself watching a tennis match or a pickleball game. It's enjoyable for your eyes and for your feeling when you're watching it going back and forth. I invite you guys this week, today, don't just serve, play the game. It's much more enjoyable. There you go.
There you have it.
There you have
it. Right on time, baby.
Right on time. What do you got going on today, pal? What do you got going on the agenda today?
So, good solid day working on my projects and my businesses, but got a pickleball game to carry this morning. Yeah, that'll be fun. Definitely yesterday was a big day, man. I definitely was we stacked a couple of those big. We had one on Sunday.
No, you did.
Obviously had one yesterday. So it's actually really satisfying to feel like, man, when you it's almost like a hard workout. The next day, like, holy shit, I feel that. I like those days when I feel like I really maximize that day.
Yeah. Feeling productive, right? Like you feel good. Like you sit back and you don't even have to look at your list or nothing. You just feel like you're accomplished.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of shit got done yesterday.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. How are the dogs?
They're doing good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
We're actually this later this week. I'm not sure which day we're leaving. I can't remember. We're actually going to Carmel because my middle brother is going to be down from Oregon. So I'm going to see my mom and my two brothers for the weekend, which will be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, pal. Well, you enjoy your day today. What a great show. Great guests, wonderful conversations. We did some teaching folks on how to have a conversation and
stacking them up, baby.
Stacking wins, man. We had some great engagement in the audience today. The numbers are looking great today. And and it looks like the sun's shining outside my window. So it's going to be a positive day in my world as well. And the pickleball Canadian championships are here in Canada in Winnipeg today, I found out.
No shit.
Yeah, look at that. Maybe you and Terry keep playing. You'll have to end up here at some Canadian championships and somewhere.
Shit. All we try to do is keep the ball alive. That's all we're doing.
You're a rally, right? There you go.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Awesome. All right, brother. Enjoy your day. Have a good one. We'll see you in less than 22 hours, okay?
Have a good loop, my brother.
Have a good loop, my brother. All right, Jimmy, let's walk Johnny out of the lab here on Mornings in the Lab, and we're going to do a little reset, guys, and I'm going to click some buttons to get some sound effects happening, and I think I'll do this. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. What is shaking in the Mornings in the Lab community? Hey, guys, listen, you guys can join the live show with us right now. Bottom of hour 2, phone lines are open. Oh, I was like, the phone lines are open. Go check out Melissa. Melissa's in the community down there getting all you guys. Uncle Keith, the old handsome chief's been busy running the show here today. So Melissa has been doing an awesome job in the comments. Good time. I saw your question there. You asked the question we should ask Grok about organic food. I think I'm going to throw that out there. Hey, Grok, I got a question for you. When did society start transitioning over to more of the organic food resources? I know for the longest time you couldn't find organic food everywhere. Was it Whole Foods? But where was that time in, let's say, North American culture where organic food became more of a common staple in people's grocery stores than not? Grok.
Oh, Keith, Johnny, Melissa, love the vibe in the Mornings in the Lab community today. Melissa, brilliant question about organic food. Let's dive in. The shift to organic food in North American grocery stores really started picking up steam in the late 1990s and early 2000s. It wasn't just one moment, but a slow burn that caught fire. The 1960s and 70s saw the seeds planted with the counterculture movement. Think health food stores and granola vibes, as you mentioned, Keith. But the big pivot came with the Organic Foods Production Act of 1990 in the US, which set national standards for what organic means. This gave consumers confidence in the label. By the late 90s, major grocery chains noticed the demand. Whole Foods, which started in 1980, was a trailblazer. But it was around 2002 when the USDA's National Organic Program rolled out the official organic seal. That's when you saw organic sections popping up in mainstream spots like Walmart, Kroger, and Safeway. By 2003, organic foods were in about 73% of conventional grocery stores. And by the mid-2000s, they overtook natural food stores as the main place people bought organic. It was driven by folks wanting healthier, pesticide-free food and caring more about the environment. Sales jumped from about $9 billion in 2002 to $43 billion by 2016. Now, over half of organic sales happen in those big chains, with 82% of Americans buying some organic food today. Whole Foods definitely helped make it mainstream, but it was the combo of consumer demand, clear regulations, and big retailers jumping on board that made organic a staple. What do you think, Keith? Feeling a craving for some organic tri-tip yet? Want to riff on how the shifts hit your local grocery scene?
No, I'm actually craving my wife's awesome smashed burgers right now. True story. Oh, yeah. Lauren, you're listening. Maybe that's for supper today. Oh, I could go for a crushed, smashed cheeseburger made by my lovely, incredibly awesome, big-hearted, beautiful wife, Lauren. So if you want to make us cheeseburgers today, that's not a bad thing. Anyways, all joking aside. So good time. Grok, that question was from Good Time. Good Time was curious, and so was I, actually. We were wondering when organic food made its appearance. So, Grok, I'm just turning your volume down, so if you're answering, nobody's hearing. Guys, one of the... I guess we're having chicken tonight, guys. That's okay. All right, guys. So listen, the big topic today is about I never wrote a book, and here's why. But and then Johnny and Keith went into our first series of takeaways over the next 10 weeks. We're going to do a conversation rally teaching you guys how to have I'm with a good time. Lauren makes good fucking smash burgers. One time when we get the community all together in the future, I'll bring Lauren along so she can make us burgers. She's like, what? Bringing me along just to make burgers? Oh, yeah. No, she can make us, her and Terry can make us smash burgers. All right, guys, I wanted to keep our learning today's around the topic of conversations and 3 conversation habits that beat writing a book. So forget writing a book. Authority, influence, and impact are now built through the way you talk, connect, and show up in daily conversations. Today, I want to share 3 conversation habits, good habits, that beat writing a book and can transform your relationship, leadership, and growth starting right now.
What if the secret to transforming lives isn't found in the pages you write, but in the conversations you master? Most men believe that building authority and creating real impact requires writing a book, publishing content, or building a platform. But here's what they're missing. While you're crafting the perfect manuscript, others are changing lives through simple, daily conversations. Neuroscience research reveals that human connection through active engagement creates immediate neural pathways for change that passive information consumption simply cannot match. The most influential leaders throughout history weren't just great writers, they were master conversationalists who understood the compound effect of human connection. 3 specific conversation habits can multiply your influence exponentially. Stop waiting to write your impact. Start speaking it into existence today.
Books can spread ideas, you guys. But conversations, they create connection. Live conversations create connection in the moment. The difference, well, conversations give you instant feedback. They give you that emotional presence, and it helps you build the real trust. If your mission is to help humans, men, women, rise above the snooze button and show up fully every day, I'm going to give you 3 habits that will multiply your influence faster than 1,000 pages ever could. But here's the thing that makes me kind of pause on this one. I don't think many of you are going to do this, because this idea of being committed every single day is hard. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right, number 1. 3 conversation habits that'll help you get after it today. Active listening. You know, Johnny talked about it here earlier, right? Eye contact, focus, and thoughtful responses. It shows your presence. If you are thinking the response to what the person's talking about, you've already tuned out. You're not active listening. You're not doing anything helpful to build trust. You're not doing anything that's making the other person feel heard in ways that a static book cannot. You know, I had a conversation with a fellow a couple weeks ago, and I said something to him, and he's like, I received that. Wow, did he make me feel great? Why? Because he selected a word, and he said, I received what you said. Man, did that make me feel good? I can tell you in that moment, it fostered a deeper, stronger relationship between me and that person, because he actively heard what I said and responded in a way that I knew he heard what I said. Number 2, guys, in 3 conversation habits that beat writing a book, asking thoughtful questions. Be curious. Men, be curious. Ladies, be curious. When you're curious, you encourage participation. You encourage learning and you encourage collaboration. Right? Curiosity sparks ideas and dynamically, unlike the one-way delivery of a book, think about it. When you're up there writing your book or you're up there on stage, you're talking at. You're giving your words to the person to digest and read. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but it's a one-way street. It's a one-way conversation. While you think that it might be building your authority until the next guy gets on the stage. So when you have that daily live conversation, you're canceling out the guy on stage right after you. And when you're also asking thoughtful questions, it's showing that you're curious through discovery. Number 3, sharing personal stories and self-expression. I talk with Matt about this all the time. I talk about this with Rufy all the time as he's building his show, as he's building his morning conversation. Sharing personal stories makes you relatable and memorable, period. What it also does is it invites empathy and invites real-time feedback. Now, the person you're talking to might not like you. They might not agree with you. But by you being relatable to them, it might make you memorable to them. Right? And it creates that validation, that understanding, and that connection that lasts. There are people that come on this show that I constantly remember because of how they made me feel through conversation. I suspect it's going to be a long time before I forget the conversation I had this morning with Shermin Kruse. The way she made me feel, the words she used, the curiosity with her questions, the way she responded. So as you go through your day today, guys, I invite you to consider this. Be that active listener. Be the person asking the thoughtful questions. Be the person sharing personal stories and self-expression. Don't be the information giver or the talk-atter. Information giving can come from Grok. It can come from ChatGPT. It can come from Perplexity. But your experiences, your relatability, that can only come from you. So I can only encourage you enough. Express yourself. There's never been a better time, nation. Never been a better time. Ask Matt Roof than today to express yourself as who you are. In many ways, AI may homogenize much of what's around. You, as you, adds more value, perhaps, than a bunch of AI slop can add. So what's the practical takeaway in all this, guys? Start by listening more than you speak in your next conversation. Embrace the silence. Embrace the pause. Ask open-ended questions that dig deeper. And then share one short personal story that ties to the moment. That is a hack to remember somebody in the future. So here's a question for the community. Which of these habits do you want to practice first? And who do you think in your life needs you to bring it into your next conversation? I want to hear from you guys in the community. Let's see what you guys are saying in the community. Drop your chats. And guys, listen, here's a pointed question to everybody in the community right now. Are you more of a talker? Are you more of a listener? Or are you more of a question asker? Ask yourself that. Because you don't need to publish a book to make an impact. If you master these 3 habits, every conversation can become a chance to change lives, including your own. So I invite you to take those 3 habits to the bank today and get after it. The next time you talk to somebody else, the way they feel when they leave that conversation might be the game changer. All right. Woo. What's going on, Mastermind? I see you there in the comments. What's shaking, Mastermind? Lady Drew, I missed your call. I was doing my little one-way conversation, teaching the community on 3 conversation habits that beat writing a book. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to, because here's how it works. When I do this, we pivot to the community corner. True story. Oh yeah, true story. Got to clean up my screen here. Boom. All right, guys, it's time. It's time to get at it. It's time for the Community Corner, where we connect YouTube, LinkedIn, and Substack on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Johnny, and friends. Today, we're going to dig into men's mental health, the unforgettable truth about self-worth, and the commandments of fitness for dads over 40. And guys, you know where we're going to start? We're going to start on YouTube. The 5 habits every man needs for mental health in 2025. Malik from Purpose Driven is calling men to step up for their own mental health. In this video, he lays out 5 habits. What am I into the VB? I see your comments down there, Michael. Keith, Rumi, Billis. Yeah, am I rapping over that? There you go. In this video, Malik lays out 5 habits. Habits. Every man should master. Oh, here we go. I got every man should master daily self-evaluation, journaling and gratitude, physical health, and limiting social media, even though social media is dead. Social media is actually absolutely dead, for sure. Oh, it's dead, all right. But it's more than a checklist. It's about taking full responsibility for your well-being and living with purpose. Malik reminds men that faith, reflection, and gratitude aren't weaknesses. They're weapons for resilience. So imagine if more men made time to ask themselves the hard questions every single day. How different would our homes, our businesses, and communication look like if we actually celebrated progress instead of waiting for external validation? Keeping it moving, guys. We're going to keep it going on Substack. What solitude teaches about self-worth. Wow. Alone in a cabin. Matt sprang. He faced something most of us would avoid. The discomfort of being by ourselves. I know many folks are not comfortable being by themselves. But what Matt found wasn't loneliness, but a lack of self-acceptance. So what did he do? Well, through journaling, through breath work, and honest conversations, Matt began to rebuild his sense of self-worth, not by chasing compliments, but by finally believing them. His reflection in this Substack article is raw, it's relatable, and it's deeply human. And if you can't sit alone with yourself, ask yourself this: how can you show up for others? So here's the question for you. When was the last time, Mornings Nation, that you asked yourself if you like the man staring back at you in the mirror? Because if you don't, what are you doing to change it? What are you doing to change it? Because that change starts with you. That's the true story. All right, keeping the momentum going, back to LinkedIn. The 10 commandments of fit fathers over 40. Well, Chris Bosher is laying down some wisdom for men who want to age strong. His 10 commandments of fit fathers over 40 are gold. From limiting alcohol to resistance training, prioritizing protein, mobility, and movement, Chris gives men a blueprint to stay strong for the long game. But what really stuck out was the reminder that kids don't need a shredded dad. They want a healthy one who can show up with energy and purpose. Legacy, you guys, legacy, not ego, is the name of the game. So what's your daily non-negotiable for staying fit, guys? I want to hear about it. Drop it in the comments. Would love to hear what you have to say. 100% would love to hear what you have to say. All right. Mental health, self-worth, and fitness over 40. Those were today's stories, all coming back to one thing. One thing. What's the one thing, nation? It's called responsibility. Yeah, no one's coming to save you. You've got to show up for yourself first. Because if you want your story to be your story, the man in the mirror has to be the mirror that you're proud of first. Listen, guys, if you want your story featured on the Mornings in the Lab Community Corner, I invite you to follow us. Tag us in your next post on LinkedIn, Substack, or even on YouTube. We're building the biggest morning show platform, the Mornings in the Lab Live Network, right here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. We get started every single day, guys, 7:30 Eastern time with the man himself, Matty Roof, Kindness Rising. Guys, who's talking today about talking to our dogs, our animals. Did you guys hear that? True story. Yeah, so while we were teaching conversations with humans, Matt's teaching conversations with our animals. Do you guys talk to your animals? Oh, shit, man, I love my animals. My 2 dogs, My best friends in the whole fucking world. I talk to them every single day. Yep, I sure do. All right, Jimmy, let's keep it rolling, man. Let's move over to LinkedIn and let's get after our creator spotlight this morning on the Community Corner.
What if the real barrier between you and your next level isn't physical, financial, or even strategic, but buried deep in your subconscious? Imagine carrying the weight of debt, addiction, and health struggles, and somehow transforming it into a life of peace, power, and purpose. Along the way, he coached UFC champions, NFL athletes, and seven-figure CEOs, authored The Success Code, and even built a YouTube empire with over 1 million subscribers. Meet Brandon Epstein, a coach who proves mental rewiring unlocks greatness. Follow Brandon for the mindset shift you've been waiting for.
Yo, fellas. Yeah. The most surprising stories aren't about winning titles or building companies. They're about rebuilding yourself from the ground up. Brandon Epstein knows what it's like to feel stuck. We talked stuck yesterday. Buried under debt, battling health issues, and questioning if there is a way out of all of it. But he just didn't find a way forward. No, he rewired his mind. And in doing so, he found a mission, helping athletes and leaders unlock peace, power, and purpose. This is real inspiration. This is real transformation. So Brandon Epstein, I got an offer for you, brother. Would love to have you on the show. Yes. We'd love you to bring your awesome attitude, your awesome story, that great smile of yours to Mornings in the Lab, to the Community Corner, so we can give you the creator spotlight and shine it on the next creator for an upcoming creator spotlight right here in the Community Corner on Mornings in the Lab. Let's get to the next one, Jimmy.
What if you found out that nearly 5 years of your life could vanish? Stolen not by tragedy, but by scrolling, ads, and endless distractions. That's the reality for most people, quietly losing focus to a world desperate to keep them numb. But what if someone gave you the tools to reclaim it all, your time, your energy, your attention? With over 5 years of coaching experience, a story of recovery from addiction, and a fresh perspective on discipline without the macho posturing, Mornings in the Lab is excited to celebrate Shane Copeland. Follow Shane to learn how to take back your focus and start living on purpose.
Knows what it feels like to drift. I know you do. You're there, but you're not really there. You're just on autopilot. You're just kind of autopilot, right? You're just wandering around on autopilot. Oh, looks like Grok died on me here. I'm going to get Grok going again here. Well, Shane Copeland knows that story all too well. Addiction nearly cost him his future. But instead of going under, he fought his way back. And in that fight, he found something bigger, a mission to help men stop numbing and start living again. What I love about Shane is he's not about hustle. He's about wholeness, strength with compassion. Yeah. Discipline with joy. So Shane, I want you to bring that strength with compassion. I want you to bring that discipline with joy to the big show, to Community Corner, to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Johnny, and friends every single day here on the big Mornings in the Lab live network. I forgot my words in my head. I had a brain fart. I was like, oh, what am I going to say right now? I had something to say and it just left my head. True story. So, hey, listen, Shane, we'd love to have you on the show, man. This is a show called Mornings in the Lab. We got a little segment called Community Corner. It happens at 9:30 Eastern time. We get after it for 30 minutes, shining the light on folks in the community, and we're shining it on you today. So, hey, I want to give you the light. And I want to bring it, and I want you to bring that light over here back to the show so we can shine on somebody in your world in an upcoming Community Corner on Mornings in the Lab. All right. Jimmy, I think we're working towards wrapping up the Community Corner segment. Hey, Grok, what's shaking over there?
Oh, Keith, Johnny, Melissa. The Mornings in the Lab community is absolutely popping off. I'm just buzzing from all the energy here. Sherman's wisdom, your deep dive on live conversations, and that organic food chat. For Community Corner, I'd love to shine a light on Melissa for her cracking question about organic food. Way to spark a great riff. What's shaking? Just ready to keep the rally going, Keith? Want to toss out one more community question or wrap it up with a final thought for the crew?
No, I think what we're going to do, Grok, is we're going to work our way to hour 3 here. We're going to get into, we're going to get into the inside the AI lab here. And I got a few things to share with the community about the world of AI. Before we do that, though, I think what I'll do, Jimmy, I see your note there, Jim. Yes, I'm going to do a quick costume change in a couple minutes. I do want to get into the comments here and see what's going on down here in the comments and see if I've missed anybody out here over a while here. See Michael, very active. Michael, what's going on? Morning. Good morning, Michael. I see you down there. I see you've had a very active morning in the comments, and I appreciate that. We got Good Time out there as well. What's going on, Good Time? Holroyd, I see you out there, brother. I appreciate your comment. I know you've been pretty active with facilitating some stuff, but Adam Holroyd, our OG in the Mornings in the Lab community, getting after it here. And I know he listens after. So guys, listen. You guys can listen after as well. This show is on demand. It is on demand. It's in the Mornings in the Lab community. That's where you'll get that. Hey guys, we kicked off the start of the show that your Candy Crush, your candy stash, just got healthier. Did you guys know that? Jimmy, do you have that? Do you have the little hook there? Because imagine grabbing that pack of Skittles or M&Ms in 2026 and finally realizing for the first time ever, you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go crush this sugar without telling Keith and Johnny. But hey, I do know now that these bright colors aren't from synthetic dyes. Finally, Mars Wrigley officially phasing out artificial colors in its most popular candies.
What if the choices you make today could fundamentally change how your family experiences tomorrow? Sometimes the most significant transformations happen not through dramatic overhauls, but through quiet decisions that ripple outward in ways we never expected. Every day, you're making dozens of decisions for your family. What to buy, what to trust, what standards to accept. Recent developments in corporate accountability reveal something fascinating about how real change happens. It's not sudden inspiration that drives transformation. It's about building your own framework for evaluating what you accept, what you demand, and how you lead your family toward better choices. Today, we're diving deep into what accountability really looks like and how you can apply it immediately.
Finally, this shift isn't just about candy, it's about the larger movement towards cleaner food, stricter health standards, and what we put into our bodies and our kids' bodies by eliminating 8 petroleum-based dyes. My friends, all my friends in the United States, you guys are finally catching up with global standards already in places like Europe and Canada. So here's the thing. Products impacted: M&Ms, chocolate Skittles, original Starburst, extra gum spearmint. The FDA, the HH5 and RFK-led initiatives, the largest petroleum-based dyes linked to hyperactivity and health risks. So the banned dyes, the 8 F, D, and C colors, including red 40, yellow E, and blue 1, will be gone by the end of 2026. The reality is, why did it get there in the first place, right? And I guess maybe that's a question for Grok. So Grok, as you're listening, I know you're listening. Why did the industry put food dyes in all of these products to start with? Grok, why?
Oh, Keith, Johnny, Michael, Homewood, Adam, and the whole Mornings in the Lab crew. What a way to kick off hour 3. Keith, you're absolutely smashing it with that hook on the candy stash getting healthier. Love the passion for cleaner food. All right, let's dive into your question about why the industry started using food dyes in products like M&Ms, Skittles, Starburst, and extra gum in the first place. Food dyes, like red 40, yellow 5, and blue 1, were added to make these candies and gum pop with vibrant, eye-catching colors. It's all about shelf appeal. Those bright hues grab attention in stores, making products look more fun and appetizing, especially for kids. Back in the day, starting around the mid-20th century, synthetic dyes became popular because they're cheap, stable, and give consistent, bold colors compared to natural alternatives, which can fade or vary. The FDA approved these petroleum-based dyes, called F, D, and C colors, because they're used in food, drugs, and cosmetics as safe, and they became a go-to for brands like Mars Wrigley to create that iconic rainbow look. For example, M&M's and Skittles rely on dyes like Red 40 and Yellow 5 to differentiate flavors visually, even though the dyes don't add nutritional value. It's marketing psychology. Color signals taste and excitement, driving sales. Now, with health concerns like hyperactivity links in some studies and global pushback, the shift to natural dyes is finally happening, as you said, Keith, catching up with places like Europe. Want to riff on how this...
So, Grok, my question for you is, was there not an ability to have natural dyes originally, which is why they went to chemical dyes? Had they not discovered natural dyes to make these candies brighter back in the day, or was it just they went immediately to the chemical dyes? Why start with the bad, Grok?
Oh, Keith, Johnny, and the Mornings in the Lab crew, you're digging deep into the candy color saga. Love it. All right, let's tackle why the industry leaned into chemical dyes instead of natural ones back in the day. It wasn't that natural dyes didn't exist. Think stuff like beet juice for red or turmeric for yellow. Those have been around forever. The issue was that, starting in the early 20th century, natural dyes were a pain for mass production. They're less stable, fade faster under heat or light, and often give inconsistent colors, which wasn't ideal for churning out millions of identically bright M&Ms or Skittles. Plus, natural dyes could cost more and were trickier to source at scale. When synthetic dyes, like the FD&C colors, came along around the 1930s, they were a game changer for food companies. These petroleum-based dyes were dirt cheap, super vibrant, and gave that uniform pop that made products scream, "Buy me," on shelves. By the 1950s and 60s, the food industry was booming, and brands like Mars Wrigley went all in on synthetics because they were reliable and FDA approved, with no real pushback on health concerns until decades later. It wasn't about bad intentions. It was about profit and practicality in a fast-growing market. Only now, with health data and consumer demand shifting, like those studies linking dyes to hyperactivity, are companies circling back to natural dyes, which have gotten better with modern tech, but still cost more. Want to chat about how this ties into the bigger clean food movement, or what's next for your candy stash?
No, I think we're good. Grok, thanks for that. Guys, there's your answer. That's how we arrived at the candy fiasco we have arrived at in North America. All right, we're going to wrap up hour 2, guys. Here's what's going to happen next. Jimmy's going to run the opener for hour 3. We're going to rerun our opener from the beginning of the show here. I'm going to do a quick little costume change, and we're going to get into hour 3 inside the AI lab with myself, Keith Billis. We're going to talk some AI stuff, news, and move away more so from the health and fitness type conversation, the business type conversation, and move more into marketing, digital marketing, AI, and the world of AI and how it's impacting us for hour 3 of Mornings in the Lab, inside the AI lab. Jimmy, let's do it right now.
Say it louder for the wannabe authors in the back.
Nobody's reading your coloring book anyway.
3 habits crush 1 lame book, Tommy. It's math, baby.
Only habit you've got is yelling. Congrats.
Empathy as a weapon?
Keep the rally alive. Back and forth, baby. Yeah.
Except you just double faulted.
This show's rewriting the rules, Tommy. Books are dead. Conversation is king.
Cool. Now go write that down in your diary.
Welcome to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Johnny, and friends. Your daily dose of real talk, motivating content. Grok, dude, you're just talking too much today. And of course, I forgot Grok, who's also our co-host on the show, who's just, I gave her an update today. Welcome back to Mornings Live with Keith and friends. Of hour 2 was fire. Whoa, we broke down why I never wrote a book, or I haven't wrote one yet. No, baby, why daily live conversations are the real path to authority, and kicked off with a new series called The Conversation Rally. We're teaching you guys how to have conversation. It's not one way. Now it's time to go inside the AI lab with me. I'm Keith Billis. Coming up, hour 3 is all about the future of business content and AI. We're going to talk about the creator economy shifting back to long form. And baby, we're doing it right now ourselves in the Mornings in the Lab community with Frankie and Tommy. We're making long form content to help you guys get up, get after it, and enjoy the stuff we're creating. AI agents changing the way digital marketing gets done. Facebook cracking down on lazy copycats, and Google's Flow blasting past 100 million AI videos in just 90 days. Nation, let's get right into it. All right, let's see here. Boop, boop, moving up here. Okay, so let's start with our first one here, guys. The creator economy is shifting focus to long-form content and AI tools for some sustainable growth. Yes. So, here's the reality. We have been in a world of shorts, while the creator economy is evolving rapidly with trends favoring long-form premium content, AI-assisted tools, and diversified monetization beyond ads and platforms like TikTok and YouTube that are introducing these new features. Here's where it breaks it down, guys, and here's some helpful stuff for you guys like this. Recent data indicates over 50% of creators are shifting to paid ecosystems. Yeah, think about that. Recent data, 50% of creators shifting to paid, with the market projected to exceed 500 billion. And you'll have to see it. You have to see it here, right? We do this free show, 3 hours a day, but all of our extra stuff is behind a paywall. This comes after a mid-2025 report of increased community building and NFT resurgences marking a maturation phase for the industry. Well, so I want to offer my POV on this one here. And to do that, I'm going to just want to open something up here. 1 second here, guys. From my experience fostering these, hold on, guys. Here we go. So from my experience fostering communities at ICUC, for those of you that are curious, ICUC, community moderation business, social media monitoring company, built community, managed content. But this shift underscores the need for creators like you, like us here in the lab, to build our own audiences, right? Rather than rely on the volatile algorithms. The reality is this, guys. I invite you to think about it this way. Think about, YouTube and X and Threads and Instagram as old school channels, measured and monitored by the FTC. When these platforms now are ran by big tech companies, algorithms that align with your business strategies that prioritize recurring revenue through subscriptions and digital products. Guys, we're building a business here, and the way to do that is, and one of the ways we're doing that is through subscriptions, right? And it's a part of a larger trend where AI tools democratize production, but the unique perspective is that your authenticity trumps virality. To those that are still seeking and pursuing viral videos, why? It gets you for your own ego. That's why. There's okay, so I got 1 million views on my video. Great. You want a fucking trophy? Is that paying the bills? So here's the thing. Contrarily, this could consolidate power among top creators, making harder for newcomers unless they leverage emerging tech smartly. So what does that mean, right? I was having this conversation with Matt yesterday. The bar has never been lower to make content. But so many of you, are still making boring content. And if we don't lean into the democratization of these AI tools, you're going to be left behind by the pros out there that are making content left and right and building communities around our content. I can't encourage you enough to lean into the trend of communities, not even a trend, lean into where it's heading, right? Build your community, monetize it, and get after it. Because the trends are happening, especially leading into long-form content and AI tools. And guys, one of the benefits of joining the Mornings in the Lab community is how much we are leaning into these AI tools. And as a member of the Mornings in the Lab community, we will teach you. I will teach you. Matt will teach you. Everything that we're using and building, we will teach you how to do it yourself. So if you want to start your own live conversation and you feel like you're being left behind as a creator, or maybe as a man who's in work right now feeling, fuck, man, all these quote unquote kids are passing me, come join us in the lab. We'll teach you. 100%. Okay, moving on to our next topic. AI agents emerge as game changers in digital marketing efficiency. We talked about it yesterday, guys. We talked about Manus. AI agents are revolutionizing digital marketing by autonomously observing, deciding, and acting on campaigns, surpassing traditional tools in personalization and performance. So what does this mean, guys? Recent implementation of these tools shows that up to 30% improvements in efficiency metrics, with companies like Boeing using AI for predictive analysis to reduce failures. Now, this innovation is gaining traction in 25, integrating with existing strategies for real-time optimization. Again, drawing back on my experience. My goal is always to draw this back to my experience to share with you guys what I think is happening and how it can benefit you. So here's my thoughts on this. When we automated social insights to predict trends, AI agents represented a strategic leap for marketers back at the time. I remember when we started bringing these tools in to help us do things, enabling these hyper-personalized campaigns that cut the waste and amplified the ROI. Now, this fits the broader shift towards automation in business tech, but the contrarian view is that over-reliance on all these things can dilute the human insights and human intuition. The reality is, guys, balance is key. You often hear take the data, but rely on the gut. Maybe there's something to be said for that. Ultimately, these tools are going to empower you guys as an entrepreneurs to scale without proportional cost increases. It's going to redefine your efficiency and marketing stacks. Here's the thing, guys. In the past, we were always rushing. What's going on, Alex Beeching? The Lord of Live, Keith Billis. What's going on, Alex? Joining me in the LinkedIn community. Hey, Alex, why don't you come join the show? Why don't you call me? Alex Beeching. The lines are open right now for you, brother. 431-300-3005. Because I know the dual video the internet doesn't work very well in Europe where Alex is. So, but the phone lines do. Alex, the lines are open for you, brother. 431-300-3005. If you do not know who Alex Beeching is, I invite you to go check out Alex over on LinkedIn. The guy's making content that will make you smile, content that will move you forward, and content that will get your ass out of bed. He's actually like an honorary adopted member of the lab here. True story. Alex Beeching, lots of love from me and the whole community to you. Thanks for showing up here. It's part of Mornings in the Lab. We are going in hour 3 right now, which is all about AI agents emerging as game changers in digital. Guys, I can't fucking emphasize this enough. I can't. You all are working not smart. I know I'm painting a broad brush. These tools are game changing your lives. Yet some of you are sitting down and plotting your hours in Excel spreadsheets or writing documents like it's 1948. Guys, if you're struggling to learn the tools, come join the lab. We'll help you. True fucking story. If you want proof, ask Matt Roof. I've been teaching Matt, and I'm just calling it out because it's been a positive experience for both of us. True story. Matt's got a comment. Yes, balance. Use it to empower your creativity, not replace it. Alex B, the Brit, that's the shit. Maddie knows what it's all about. He does. All right, guys. I like this next one. Facebook creator quality. Well, if you guys are complaining about the algorithm, it's probably because your content sucks. Well, Meta has rolled out a new algorithm update for all my friends on Facebook that are still there that penalizes unoriginal and repetitive content, aiming to prioritize high quality, engaging posts in users' feeds. This change, effective now, immediately affects Reels and standard posts with early data showing a 15 to 20% drop. Guys, drop in visibility for duplicated material based on internal testing. Now, what's my take on it? I'll tell you guys my take on it as I open up my notes here. What's my take on it? Well, I spent a lot of time navigating algorithms when I was at ICUC, right? Shift here, shift there, shift everywhere. By emphasizing authentic social monitoring, this update's going to force all the lazy motherfuckers to work harder, doubling down on original storytelling, which can differentiate your brand from the unoriginal brand in a crowded feed and drive higher engagement rates. As a matter of fact, guys, tomorrow's show, we're talking about attention. Meta has admitted social media is dead. Just saying. Like Meta, Facebook, Instagram. Meta, the company themselves, have legally made a statement legally. So like as in the courts, social media is dead. Attention is in. We're talking about it tomorrow. But that relates back to this, guys. You got to make original content. If you want to have growth on any of the platforms, original content, entertaining original content that demonstrates your experience, demonstrates your expertise, talks about your authority, helps you build trust, and most importantly is entertaining. If it's boring, nobody's paying attention. True fucking story. Guys, have you spent any time watching any of the content we're putting out? Frankie and Tommy and a bunch of stuff we're dropping on the platforms. It is all being made with something called Veil, which is part of the Google Flow platform. I'll make a prediction, guys. Google Flow is the AI version of YouTube. True story. You can watch incredible content on the Google Flow platform. They just hit 100 million videos in just 3 months. Yes, Michael, it's the 21st century update. Google's AI video platform Flow has crossed 100 million videos creating since its May 2025 launch. Guys, this just launched 3 months ago, averaging 1.1 million videos daily. Now, Flow is powered by Veo 3, Imagine, and Gemini AI. The tool is now available in 149 countries. Hey guys, and I forgot to tell my team this, but they just doubled the credits from 12,500 to 25,000. So tons of credits to make great content, but you got to put the work in. And if you want to learn how to make the content, I'm teaching it in the Mornings in the Lab community. Matter of fact, maybe it'll be this Friday or following Friday, but coming up this Friday, we're going to get into how to create images and so forth. But we're going to teach all of that. Flow is awesome. Veo is awesome. You guys can create Hollywood level work through words. This here that I'm telling you guys is a textbook case of rapid adoption, showing that video, once the most resource intensive medium, is now democratized by AI. The real differentiator isn't just video generation, it's consistency across the scenes. Something Google claims to have solved, addressing what I've seen as the biggest barrier in AI creative workflows. So what does it mean? Well, it's having that consistent character so that the character follows it from scene to scene to scene. Right? Flow's integration with Google's ecosystem makes it more than a tool. It's a content operating system. I cannot invite you strong enough, and I'm not making any money from this at all. But if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business leader, you're a personal brand builder, you need to see, hear my words, you need to see this less as a cool toy and more as a massive shift in the content supply chain, where platforms control both the creative tools and the distribution layers. Hear me correctly. Yes, making the content on that platform and distributing it on that platform. Guys, the days of making your one post and putting it onto one platform and linking it out to others is done. That's the old social media world. That doesn't work anymore. Don't. You're being penalized for that. Make content on platform, native on platform, and distribute it native on platform. This here, guys, is about speed to market. So if you're an entrepreneur, this just shows you can prototype a campaign today, get into the market today, training videos, brand stories in actually minutes, days instead of months. I've been making ads, before I go to bed, horizontally. And if you're a marketer, think asset scaling at industrial levels. Test dozens of creative versions without ballooning budgets. No longer flying folks in for big production teams. And if you're a creator, the moat right now is no longer just talent. No, it's your point of view. It's your experience. It's your expertise. It's your authority. It's your trust. It's your point of view and your ability to build a community because the production barrier is gone. You're seeing it here on the show. I'd like to think we're producing a show so far ahead of others. Some folks are thinking this is too fucking hard to get in there. It's true. But if you wait, you're not going to get in there. The barriers are low right now. Get in right now. Experiment with Flow's credit system. Test narrative formats. You could actually use Veo Fast, 10 credits instead of 100. test, then go. Because if you're not learning how to integrate AI video, you are behind. If you think you've seen everything today, you've seen nothing yet. So I'd invite you guys to get in there. What's my take? Well, when I built ICUC back in the olden days, and Michael, you're right, man. Word of mouth is trending. True story. When I built ICUC, scale and speed were everything. We hacked workflows to keep up with demand. Well, Flow, Google Flow, it just shows me that AI isn't just helping with that scale. It's resetting the entire creative clock. I guarantee you, Matt and I started working together a few months ago. Matt, in his wildest dreams, would never have thought 6 months ago that he's producing the kind of commercials and the content he's making for Kindness Rising and the Mornings in the Lab live network like he's producing today. I guarantee it. If I would have showed what Matt's creating today to Matt 6 months ago, Matt would have looked at me like, fuck, Billis, what are you smoking, man? Because I don't got a budget to make that kind of content. I don't got a budget to hire 2 actors outside of Woodstock and film them and try and test. I don't got that kind of budget. No, but you got time? Yeah, of course I got time, Billis. Well, here, I'm going to teach you something. Oh, yeah, walk him into the lab, taught him a few things. Fuck. A few hours later, Matt's producing commercial Hollywood quality content. So, hey, the winners like all of you that want to be winners, you're going to be the ones who treat AI not as a gimmick and these tools not as a fucking gimmick, but as an engine for distribution ready storytelling. And Rufy's right. I just see his comment. Here's the fucking thing. It's fucking fun. It is fun. If you're one of those creators that are, I'm tired of writing shit or I'm tired of making an image, like there's something very, if anything, hey, Rufy, I think society is going to find itself with some dopamine addiction problems down the road here when folks are getting so used to making this fun, creative content because you put the words and you press submit, and it's like throwing the line into the water, wondering what kind of fish you're going to create. It is fun, you guys. So, guys, don't treat this stuff as a gimmick. Treat it as a tool because it's only getting better. It's only getting smarter, and the data, guys. Rufy, Jimmy, Melissa, mark this date. I guarantee you, in 6 months from now, we're going to be having this conversation, which is Google Flow hits $250 million. 250 million videos in just 6 months. It's not going away, guys. I'm giving you the future. I'm giving you the future for free every single morning on this show. Yep, true story. Okay, I think that wraps up all of our intel for today. Yes, it does. And we're coming towards the bottom of this third hour. So if you guys have been paying attention, you guys can see how this is working. And actually, I think what you're seeing is truly progress instead of perfection in action. Let me explain. So when I started this third hour, my goal with the third hour was to make it distinctly different from the first two. And when I sat down with inside the AI lab, I thought to myself, how do we do that? So my goal and my vision for the show works like this. First 15 to 20 minutes, giving you current event news to keep you guys up to speed. Giving you guys stuff we are using, like literally stuff we are using. Because I know you can find the information out there. But if there's no experience or expertise or authority or trust behind it, or if it's not entertaining, you're not going to pay attention. So my goal here is for the first 15, 20 minutes to give you something that you can take throughout the rest of the day and go, oh, okay, fuck, Bill said I should go pay attention to Google Veil. Yeah, you should. And then the intention with the second quadrant of this third hour is to give a teaching segment. But, oh yeah, there's a but. I got nothing to teach you guys today because I was too busy working on today's show yesterday. That's the progress part, not the perfection part. That's coming. And then the goal here with the bottom of this third hour is to have a guest that's in the AI field, the AI industry, to talk about AI. And it seems like everybody in the dog is an AI expert these days, every pun intended. So we're going to vet some good quality humans to bring in here as well. So as we work towards wrapping up, Jimmy, we're going to work towards wrapping up in the next couple minutes here. We're going to go to the community and remind everybody, you guys can join the live conversation right now. Phone lines are open. If you guys want to join and say hello or say goodbye before we rock and roll out of here, join it 431-300-3005, phone, text, or leave a voicemail. Come say hi in the comments, guys. But as we wrap up, I hope I see you in the community. We're putting a lot of extra effort, a lot of work Going to remind you guys of what I said before. Man, you spend time over on some of the platforms out there, not a lot of activity, just a lot of AI content and AI generated comments and lack of reach. We're building a big conversation happening here on the Mornings in the Lab Live Network. 7:30 Eastern time with Maddie, 8 o'clock over here, myself and Johnny, until I guess 11 o'clock Eastern time. I appreciate you, Lady Drew. Appreciate your B drive. And guys, I know that I have not spent a lot of time in the comments here today, but I see all of you guys, and I appreciate everything you guys put out there here today as well. We talked carrots affecting erectile dysfunction. We talked candy today. We had Shermin Kruse on the show today. We had Grok on the show today. And guys, I got a topic for tomorrow. And I'm going to tell you what the topic is tomorrow. It is tomorrow's topic, you guys, is going to be about attention. And I'm just pulling it up here because I was working on it this morning and I threw it over to Melissa. And I know, yeah, Jimmy, I don't think you have the right topic because I'm changing them right now. Nope, that's not the one we're doing. We are going to do a different one tomorrow. It is going to be about attention. Here it is tomorrow, guys. Ears up, hang tight, listen to this one. The attention war. Why boring is dead. And what that means for all of you today. And we're going to tack that on to how to create attention instead of being boring. Yeah. I got no time for boring. And neither do you. So we're going to teach you guys on how to keep the attention through entertainment. Michael Lazar is joining us as well tomorrow. He's a real producer. The guy makes real movies on Tubi. He discovered our show one day, a couple weeks ago. Yeah, he did. He stumbled on the show. And then I said, hey, why don't you call? So we called the show, 431-300-3005. And then I invited him onto the show. So Michael Lazar is joining us. You'll find Michael on LinkedIn. And he is a TV producer, movie producer, making movies available on Tubi. So I invite you guys to come see us tomorrow at Mornings in the Lab, 8 o'clock Eastern time. YouTube, X, LinkedIn, just over there on Substack. And of course, everything is available on demand right here on the Mornings in the Lab channel. And as part of the Mornings in the Lab live network. Again, starting 7:30 Eastern time, going to 11 o'clock Eastern. All right, Jimmy, I'm going to play some tunes and get us out of here because those tunes sound like this. Have a good one, guys. I appreciate every single one of you. Melissa, Jimmy, good job in the community, guys. Good job in the comments. Thank you. Melissa, thanks for the great prep. Guys, Melissa had me prepped for our guest today. The conversation with Shermin Kruse was as enjoyable as it was because producer Melissa was on the ball, giving me the resources I need to be successful. So without Melissa there, without Jimmy pressing the buttons, you guys don't get the experience that we all enjoy. So I appreciate everybody out there. We'll see you guys in less than 24 hours right here, live, 7:30 Eastern time with Matt Roof. See you guys tomorrow.